And if you're talking about the inflation,
Price rise.
rise, how we were in 2000, like I would there were a lot of robberies for small things. Now all I don't see all those things. And even if there is a inflation, people are still able to afford it. So definitely we have improved a lot. And I remember in 1997 2000, when we were in US, people would say, India, where is India? Now India, everybody, the whole world knows India. And hope will.
We'll keep up to that and become world leaders ourselves. So with that, on that positive note, let us quickly also head towards the polling booth. And Maria, as you see, that everybody's still waiting here at for Mr. Narayan Murthy to step out and give us a comment on what he feels after he has cast his vote. And hopefully we should be able to do that quickly. Just give us a few minutes, a few seconds, because I think he's just on his way out. And we can show you some fresh live visuals of Mr. Murthy coming. Yes, that's an interesting question. I should be able to cast my vote shortly. And I am, let me tell you, a very proud first-time voter in Karnataka, though I had my vote at my birthplace. And now we are here. So, well, let's just give us a minute as Ma'am Sudha Murthy here makes a comment and talks to people as well.
What is it that you are voting for today? Is it change that you're voting for? What is it that you want in Bangalore or in Karnataka?
Hi.
What are your expectations as a voter?
No, I don't expect anything when I vote because I want to vote. And I believe in democracy, voting is a great right. And
Madam, so you vote for party or how important?
Ma'am, how important is it in the developments in Karnataka that we see? How important is the vote today?
ಏನಪ್ಪ ಕನ್ನಡದವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಾವು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡತೆಯಾಗಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ನಡನೇ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಳಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಇಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನಪ್ಪ
ಮತದಾನದ ಮಹತ್ವ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ
Well, we'll have to move out of the polling booth as of now, according to the Election Commission rules. And so we're hoping that Sudha Murthy will give her statement in some time.
Rohini, the interesting part is that she certainly has become more popular because of her, candid views on multiple issues and is seen as almost a champion of women's rights, has lived on those terms than her husband. I'm seeing that transition. Where is Mr. Narayan Murthy himself?
Well, that's a question that we'll have to answer shortly, because I think he's expected in some time now. She's come in alone for now. Let me tell you that yes, she has become extremely popular. That's so true. That's very true. And the fact that she has also made her some very pertinent points when it comes to social issues. She has made some very pertinent issues when it comes to political issues as well. And the fact that she has stood her ground and she has made it very clear to people. And like even now she said, when I come to vote, I think that I should vote for development. I should vote for an India which is different. And that's exactly the kind of thought that she brings about and wants to embed in the younger generations as well, to ensure that they cast their vote and they cast for change, and they ensure that India is not only going to be a developed nation, but people bring in democracy, they bring in a corruption-free government, and they bring a government for the people. And I guess that's also what she would like to relay through her comments. We are expecting her, she's speaking to the Kannada channels first, but because in Karnataka, a proud Kannadiga as well, address Kannada first and then talk to the national media as well. But let me tell you, while I've been speaking to people around here, that there are three major things that they're talking about. One is they want corruption out of the way. Number two, they want basic essential amenities. And we're talking about Bangalore for now specifically, because we know what happens to Bangalore, especially we just had rains a few days ago, and then we have waterlogged areas and infrastructure and basic last mile connectivity, as they say. These are the major things that people want. And we have seen how Prime Minister Modi, when he did come here and did his 47-kilometer rally here, he did talk about the double engine government ensuring that if the center and the state come together, they will be able to make Bangalore not just a place in the country, but across the world as something that that other countries can emulate as well. That is the kind of thinking and that is the kind of approach that the BJP has had. The Congress, on the other hand, also saying that they can give you a balanced government, they can also give you a corruption-free government, they can give basic issues like inflation and unemployment also can be addressed. So it's a very interesting way the BJP and Congress are fighting, and in between all this you have the JDS, who are looking at being big kingmakers, though they cannot, they do know that they will be earning a few seats here and there in terms of between 20 to 25 seats is what they are calculating for now. But we will see when the people vote in their favor or not. But at the same time, they're hoping to be kingmaker and trying to come back to power. But interestingly, this time, they've been reaching out to people and saying, we don't want to be kingmaker, we want to be king. That means they're asking people to give a regional party, a party from Karnataka, a chance to form the government. Till now, you've given the BJP, the Congress to form the government, which has in some way in certain rural areas also touched the hearts of people, touched the hearts of the communities, the Vokkaligas community for that matter, the farming agricultural community for that matter. But at the same time, will it be able to go and push itself? Well, that's a big question because they're not contested in all 224 seats. But at the same time, the BJP here quite confident because the last 1 week, not only is the way the Prime Minister Modi's rallies, but Amit Shah's rallies, as well as the other senior leaders and chief ministers who had come here from the BJP states, making a difference. So clearly we'll have to see how Karnataka works.
You know, most people that you spoke to are senior citizens, including Sudha Murthy, who said that I'm voting without any expectations. I think that's a very interesting point that she has made. And because voting is your duty, it's your right, please go and exercise that duty and right. So what about the youth of Bangalore? Loss rests on their shoulders. Just about every political party was trying to woo them. Are you able to spot any young chehra?
Well, I have here Mr. Narayan Murthy has
Yes,
joined
you
us,
can
so
see
I can just
Narayan
quickly
Murthy
bring
now,
in.
yes.
Sir, thank you so much for joining us here on News 18. How do you look at this? How do you look? Yes, sir, as we speak, of course. So how do you look at the fact that you've cast your vote? What are you voting for? Development, change?
No, I think all citizens vote for development, progress, good governance, and better future for our children. Therefore, it is the duty of every citizen to exercise this responsibility with a lot of care and with a lot of deep thought. So I'm very grateful that I had this opportunity. I just came back this morning from abroad and very, very happy that I had this opportunity.
So, you know, you mentioned that you just came back from abroad and yet you've come here to vote early morning. What would your message be to young voters in Bengaluru, because the city is notorious for having very poor voter turnout, for voter apathy?
Well, as I said before, unless we exercise this responsibility diligently, with a lot of deep thought, and with a little bit of effort, I do not think we will have the right to speak about progress or lack of it. Therefore, first we vote, and then we can say this is good, this is not good. But if we don't do that, then we have no right to criticize.
So Mr. Modi, are you disappointed that, you know, the development and infra issues this election have been hijacked by caste politics?
You know, I have been
religion?
out of country, so I am not familiar with what have been the issues.
But you're very
You know,
tech-savvy,
so-
sir. You would have read it
So
online.
therefore, I am the wrong person to answer that. You know, there are others who have been here, who have observed, who have taken a lot of interest. So therefore, I think
Political
issues
parties
that
have been
you
targeting each
care
other on
about?
corruption this time largely, because each of them saying that the other party being more corrupt than the other. Is that an issue that needs to be also highlighted?
you know, again, as I told you, I am not able to comment on anything for which I do not have data. So otherwise, once you start criticizing without proper data, you lose your credibility. So I don't want to do that.
Mr. Modi, as a prominent citizen of Bengaluru, resident of Bengaluru, what are your key expectations from a development perspective?
Well, my hope is that for my grandchildren, this place will be one of the best places in the world to live, to pursue their career, to pursue their education, to pursue their career, and to add value to the society. That's our hope. And second, we all hope that the poorest child in the remotest village in India has access to decent education, decent health care, decent nutrition, and hope that that child's grandchildren will have a better future than that child.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So there you have it. You have Mr. Narayan Murthy here very clearly.
Why are you not inviting me for lunch?
Well, very clearly you had Mr. Narayan Murthy talking about very pertinent issues and saying that he wants to make this a place where his grandchildren can live and be proud of as well. So clearly, Maria, you can hear, there'll be more voices that we'll be bringing you through the day.
Yes. And where is, the finance minister voting? Is she also voting, Rohini, in Bengaluru? At some other polling booth, of course, but is she also voting in Bengaluru? Yes.
No, she has voted in this very polling booth. She has voted and she has left as well. She has also addressed the media and also explained why it is important and why she votes from Karnataka as well.
Rohini, I'm going to come back to you in just a bit. A quick word from B.S. Arun and also Aman, who is here in the studio. Aman, we can see long queues early in the morning. ये तो अच्छी sign है. लेकिन सवाल है कि will the urban pocket like, Bengaluru, Mysuru, will they beat the trend or will they buck the trend or will they repeat the trend?
Well, exactly. So I think urban voting is very, very important, especially for the BJP, because BJP's strength also is in the urban pockets of Karnataka, and so that's why I think BJP has focused a lot, and PM's roadshows also were in the two major urban centers, the Bengaluru and Mysore. So that is why I think the PM has also been focusing a lot on urban voters to come out and vote. And now we see top ministers, we see the Murthys voting. These are good signs that early morning people are coming out to vote. This also sends a good sign to the general population that the top people are, the bigger faces are out at like 8 a.m. to vote, and they should also come out and vote. And I think both the BJP and if you see the Bengaluru region, Maria, it is very evenly split between the BJP and the Congress. Both of them virtually split the seats in the Bengaluru region. So obviously that is a very key region for both of them. But this time in Bengaluru, when we were actually speaking to voters and we wrote about it, that it was an issue-less election in Bangalore. People are sick of the traffic, people are sick of the potholes, and people are sick of the drainage system in Bangalore. And when the rains come down,
so they've learned to live with it.
They learn to live with it, and when it comes to the election, it's more like, people are still, interestingly, even in Bangaluru, I saw that people still vote on caste lines. It is more that hamari caste ka candidate hai ki nahi hai. So that is very interesting that, all that is forgotten what has happened in Bangalore a year back when the roads were flooded and the IT city was flooded. But now people are speaking more about, and BJP obviously wanted to take them to the
And a quick word on Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa, since his footage is running on the screen.
Well, obviously, I think Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa remains the tallest leader of the BJP in the state without a doubt. He's their toppest face. He's the biggest Lingayat face in the state, and at his age, he has I think, put a Herculean effort in these elections. I think he did rallies almost in every constituency of Karnataka, went around the state. I think, is here to prove a point. I think Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa, because the Congress made this entire election about that Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa was humiliated and sent out of power as the chief minister. He wanted to prove a point that no, I'm still a member of the BJP parliamentary board. I'm still very much in the mix, and I will ensure that BJP wins in the state. So I think that is what he's done is repeatedly. I think 2-3 times the News 18 interviewed Mr. Yediyurappa. He made the same point at all. I want to bring BJP back to Karnataka, and I want to ensure Mr. Modi comes back as the PM in 2024 with the maximum Lok Sabha seats from Karnataka. So Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa's son is contesting, which is also a very interesting contest this time. What will be the future of his son? Will his son win from? And that's a seat of Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa is his bastion. Will he Shikaripura? and will Mr. Vijendra win from that seat, and what will be Mr. Vijendra's future in the BJP? He's the state vice president, but what ahead? And is the because the BJP has been looking at a generational change in the party, and there are 72 new faces, Maria, I think this time testing the pills.
And it's a huge gamble that the party has taken.
So is there a new face for the CM also? That's a question on everybody's mind. If the BJP wins, is Mr. Vijendra a dark horse? Will they persist with Mr. B.S. Bommai? Because in this election, I've seen very clearly, whenever this question has been asked to top leaders of the BJP, be it Mr. Amit Shah or be it Mr.
Yes,
Mr.
they have been
Nadda,
very,
they have been a bit ambivalent. Yes, we are fighting under the leadership of Mr. Bommai. He is the chief minister. But then the BJP party will decide after the election.
The BJP ne बहुत ही strategically, they have, although Mr. Bommai is the chief minister, he has not been formally announced as a potential chief minister if the BJP were to get numbers. Mr. B.S. Arun is also joining us live. B.S. Arun, first of all, did you cast your vote, or when do you plan to cast your vote?
Well, because of this TV show, I have not cast my vote. I will do so shortly once this is over. So this is interesting to see, many people standing in the queue early in the morning and, attempt to cast their votes. I hope this will continue through the day until the evening, because it's very, very important. We are sitting in Bangalore, of course, but hopefully Bangalore will change its earlier history, and, more number of people will come and cast their vote. Because, Bangalore has a history of turning out a low percentage of votes. This we are seeing over and over again, and hopefully two issues, because the Prime Minister came here and did the roadshow. I hope that will enthuse the voters to vote whichever party it is. And secondly, the parties hopefully will address the issues raised by the voters. You have seen, and I have been watching on your channel and other channels, the ground issues that the people are expecting these parties to address. They have been many, and hopefully
yes, Mr. B.S. Arun, we'll talk about the larger issues in just a bit. We can see now the visuals of the chief minister who is offering prayers. Lots at stake for him. We talk about do or die always in the context of senior leaders, but for Mr. Bommai is also a very, very crucial and a critical battle.
Yes, Bommai is seeking election for the second time in Shikavi, which is in Haveri district of the Bombay, Karnataka, Kittur, Karnataka region. This is a stronghold of the BJP. BJP has won a majority of seats, 30 out of 40 in the last elections, and Bommai has been hopeful. His main contestant is a Muslim candidate from the Janata Dal, from the Congress, and this is the main fight going on between the two. Bommai hopes that once he wins and if the party comes to power, he would continue as the chief minister, although the BJP has not named him as the chief ministerial candidate. Of course, the BJP leaders say that...
What is so unique about his personality, and what is the most challenging area about Mr. Bommai? He's a man of few words. Isn't almost seen as, in many ways, he's also seen as very uninspiring.
Well, as a person, he is affable, he is easy to deal with, accessible, and he has been amongst the people, and there is a history for him which should favor him, because his father, S. Bommai, was also
a tall
chief
leader,
minister of Karnataka,
a tall socialist
and
leader.
People know the Bommai family in that region, so that should carry, carry Bommai to Vidhan Sabha this time.
Okay, Aman. When Mr. Bommai was announced as the chief minister, he was seen as a successor of B.S. Yedurappa. B.S. Yedurappa ka haath throughout unke sar par tha. Then what happened? Why did B.S. Yedurappa decide that Bommai is not the best successor of his?
Well, BJP has been trying to project Mr. Bommai as a common man chief minister. That's I think the word the BJP used. That is, as you said, he's a man of few words. He's a performer. He is more connected to the common man problems. His background is like that. But obviously there have been challenges. When you succeed somebody like a B.S. Yedurappa, you have big shoes to fill. And I think Mr. Bommai has struggled in that extent, to fill up those bill shoes, have that same kind of charisma and, reach across the state. And the BJP, I think, also realized it. That is why this election has been firmly pitched on Mr. Modi. And even when we saw Mr. Modi repeatedly, projecting Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa as a tall leader in the state, Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa was all the major stages of the BJP.
Aman, just hold on to your thoughts. Rohini Swami is in fact speaking to Sudha Murthy. Let's listen.
But I can tell them that it's important to come and vote. And then when the government is formed, you can take up your issues and talk about it.
Sudha ma'am, is corruption an issue this time? Because
No,
political
I won't
parties...
get into all those things. I'm a simple citizen, senior citizen, come and vote and look at the issues which I'm interested in.
As a resident of Karnataka, as a resident of Bangalore, yes, I'll have to ask you about infrastructure and the issues. Do you think that that can be addressed? Because every time we talk about Bangalore, we'll talk about a traffic mess or we'll talk about Bangalore drowning.
Yeah, it will be there when the city becomes big. It is difficult to handle. It's true for Bombay, it's true for Delhi, true for any mega cities like this. So issues will be there, issues will be solved, new problems will come, that will be solved. You don't expect in one day all the miracles happen. It is slowly progressing.
But the responsibility lies on the legislators and the government.
That I think let the government reform, then you can see about it.
Thank you so much here to talking. Thank you so much for talking to us here. So very clearly, Sudha Murthy ma'am here talking about issues. Though she wants to focus on education, she did mention that every growing city will have its issues and development will have its issues when it comes to infrastructure, and it's up to the government to handle it.
Rohini, if you can hear me.
Vijay Mana, that's Rohini Swami in Bengaluru.
Rohini, if you can hear me, the question is also why are the Murthis being so politically correct? Both of them did not wade into any controversial issue. Both of them are being very, very cautious, Aman. Quite unlike Sudha Murthy, who's known to call spade a spade, and she is not even saying what are the issues she was voting on.
They've turned diplomatic, no? I think the Rishi Sunak effect, maybe everybody's turning diplomatic. That whom to say would have, obviously nobody should ask whom you have voted for, obviously in an election, and it's a secret ballot. But still, I think that has been the way the election has been. Maria, people are, if you go in the Karnataka on the ground, people are a bit hesitant to tell you whom they're going to vote for. And in Karnataka also, I saw this thing very clearly. There are very, very loyal BJP voters and they're very, very loyal Congress voters. Even to the extent of, I remember going to a constituency and the Congress leaders are telling me कि हम BJP वाले voters उनके पास तो जाते भी नहीं है वोट मांगने.
मतलब मिलते भी नहीं है इतना ज़्यादा.
Because वो हमें डालेंगे भी नहीं, तो कोई फायदा नहीं है उसमें इतना effort लगाने का. We only focus on our voters कि उनको संभाल के रखें and appeal to the fence sitters. So that, fence sitters को अपनी तरफ कर सके. It's a very, very unique state in that manner. People don't really change their voting preferences, in an election. They are voting on caste lines, they're voting on party lines.
Captive audience की तरह captive voters होते हैं कर्नाटका में. And you can see Mr. Ashwath Narayan now casting his vote. An important leader, someone who played an important role in Bombay cabinet.
Absolutely, all the ministers, and I think close eye is all on the ministers of the Bombay cabinet, because if there is anti-incumbency, Maria, as Congress is claiming, then many of the ministers of BJP may lose their election. That is what we see when there is anti-incumbency, and anti-incumbency moves more against the local MLAs and the ministers. So very, very important. BJP has focused a lot that its ministers who are contesting the election win, because that sends a big message, through the cadre that your top ministers are going to win, and that effort is put in. And I think the Congress has also fielded its candidates in a certain way to challenge the main ministers of the Bombay government, to show that there is anti-incumbency. People are angry with the Congress MLAs and the Congress ministers, and I think that is going to, the BJP minister, I'm sorry, and that is how I think that's very people like Ashwath Narayan especially, who has been looked at the urban affairs very closely, and the whole mess which happened in Bangalore last year.
Yes, and so he was supposed to be held accountable. Yeah. So let's see whether people of Karnataka hold him accountable. I'm going to go straight to Purnima Murli, who's joining me live. Purnima, good morning. What are you seeing? You have already spoken to B.S. Yediyurappa and his son. So did the father and son come together to cast their vote, or did they come separately?
Well, they were one of the early voters. In fact, both former Chief Minister Mr. Yediyurappa as well as his son Vijendra and the other son, also an MP, all of them came together along with two first-time voters from their family, grandson and granddaughter. All of them came together to cast their votes here at a polling booth at Shikaripura. Very confident family. In fact, both of them maintain that it's an easy win for BJP and there is no question of a hung assembly. That's something that they've maintained. However, in Shikaripura, it's always been a Yediyurappa bastion ever since the 1980s when BJP decided to contest in the state. Yediyurappa has won every time except for once. That was in 1999 when he lost to a Congress candidate. That was when there was a Congress wave here in Shikaripura. Otherwise, it's always been a Yediyurappa bastion. For the first time, he's not contesting. He's staying away from electoral politics. And his son, who's got the challenge and responsibility, is confident that Shikaripura residents have the trust in not just Yediyurappa but also the family members.
Yes, and Purnima, you know, interesting part is, and as political journalists, we have often seen that politicians in southern India, because you cover Tamil Nadu politics and right now you are in Karnataka, have always seen an early start of their day. You know, for example, Jagan Reddy begins his day at 5 a.m. So does Mr. KCR. So what really holds them? I mean, at 8 o'clock, most of the politicians are done even with their voting.
Absolutely. Between 7 and 8, we can find a lot of politicians from the south of India go and cast votes. And here again, it's not an exception. Yediyurappa, his son and his sons as well as the family members did come here. Even at the polling booth, between 7 and 8, we did see queues. Unlike in urban polling booths, here in rural polling booths, we can see a better voter turnout because in Bangalore, there's always been a low voter turnout. But in places like Shikaripura, there's always a better turnout compared to the urban centers, and that's something that we saw where people came here in queues. Even Yediyurappa and his family stood in queues to go and cast their votes. So many people here coming to cast their votes, and they started as early as 6:30. In fact, they went to a temple, sought the blessings of Hanuman, and then they went to a Raghavendra temple, and then they came here to cast their votes. So everything was done by 8 a.m. here. Many other leaders are also casting their votes between 7 and 8 p.m. and that's a trend that we see not just in Karnataka but also in states like Tamil Nadu, as you rightly said.
Yes, Purnima, stay with us because, you know, as journalists who have covered politicians in multiple states, you know, Aman, this is a trend that we see in southern India largely. दिन की शुरुआत बहुत सुबह होती है and it ends also early. By 5:36, the day has come to an end.
Yeah, I think southern India, the voting percentage in the morning is good. You know,
Yes.
they start in northern India. हम लोग थोड़ा सुस्त हैं. I think we wake up late, आराम से नाश्ता करेंगे, फिर 11-12 बजे वोटिंग देने जाएंगे. तो 10-11 बजे तक सिर्फ 6-8-10% वोटिंग होता है northern India में. Let us not divide northern and southern India like that, but still.
No, but we have seen.
Yeah,
I mean, as
it's a
observers
trend.
of politics,
Yeah.
we see that, right?
Yeah, we see that, and even in states like UP and, you know, northern India state, we've seen that earlier. But the real rush like comes after 2 p.m., 3 p.m., basically after lunch. It is like 4-5 p.m. You see these long queues in, you know, northern India states. But southern India gets it to its job much earlier. You know, jaldi subah voting karke. I think when the voting percentages come, we will realize that subah voting is faster in and Karnataka also we're seeing these huge queues of people, and, you know, I think the top leaders coming out early to vote makes an impact. You know, people see them on TV, say हमें भी जाके वोट डालना है. येदियुरप्पा ने वोट डाल दिया.
हाँ, येदियुरप्पा ने वोट डाल दिया तो हमें भी जाना है. So, you know, Purnima, Yediyurappa ki family se who all came besides his son? Who all accompanied Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa?
Well, both the sons and their children, two of them were first-time voters. One was a grandson we spoke to and a granddaughter. All of them came together. In fact, they left their residence together, went to 2 temples and then came to the polling booth. It was Yediyurappa, his sons, wives and as well as children, first-time voters. 2 of them from Yediyurappa's family who are first-time voters, grandchildren of Yediyurappa. All of them came here to vote and they stood in queues. They waited patiently because here between 7 and 8, there were many people who stood in queues and they were also waiting in queues to cast their votes. It took about 15-20 minutes for them to cast their votes. But yes, both the sons, their wives and children who are also first-time voters did accompany Yediyurappa. So all of them came here and now they've gone back to their residence.
And B.S. Yediyurappa looked pretty optimistic. Purnima, what did he tell you?
Well, his body language seems confident because Shikaripura has always been his strength, his bastion, and that's something that he said, not just in Shikaripura, but also across the state. When multiple times there were questions asked to him about the possibility of a hung assembly, he said that BJP will at least get 135 votes, and that the trends, especially in the last 2 weeks, has increased and has made it easier for the BJP to be extremely confident. But he and his son, both of them, extremely confident. The body language seemed that it's not going to be very difficult for
body language. We as journalists read too much into it also. That body language matters, how the optics of it matters, but they know how to put on a body language that will be very much in sync with the larger mood. Will you not agree with me on that, Purnima?
Well, absolutely. Of course, we do see the body language, but you never know in Karnataka politics because there's always been a fractured mandate we've seen in Karnataka, especially from 2018 till now. And while both sides maintain that there's no question of hung assembly, we'll have to see which way the voters will vote. Of course, in Shikaripura, while it's always been in favor of Yediyurappa except once, we've also seen the kind of protests that Yediyurappa and his family faced, especially against the internal reservation here in Shikaripura. That, of course, seems to be some sort of resistance for Vijendra. However, he's tried to address it. He's met with the protesters and said that their voices will be heard and that he will definitely help them. That's something that he's assured while he campaigned here in Shikaripura. But of course, there has been resistance that we've seen. And the body language, yes, they may try to be confident, but in Karnataka, you never know which way the voters will vote. So all eyes on 13th. Till then, one could only keep guessing.
Purnima, if you have people around you, why don't you just move your camera and speak to them and give us a sense of where you are and what is the mood? Is there a long queue or people are still, you know, beginning their day?
Well, I'll try to enter the polling booth and see if I can get a couple of voices here. It was there were pretty huge crowds in the morning between 7 and 8. That's also when Yediyurappa and his family had come to cast vote. But now I'll try to get a couple of people from here as well in a short while from now.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you. We do not see long queues there. Kahan hai sab log? Aman?
Yeah, it seems like where Purnima is, people are not so enthusiastic yet in the morning.
Perhaps the rural pockets, they wake up a little late. But then, you know, that is a good trend that you see, that they have an early start. B.S. Yediyurappa in his 80s, out there in the morning, sending a message that he is standing with his party, but he has certain aces up his sleeves. We have seen that. What will be that? Aman, any guess on what Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa is up to?
Well, I think Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa's biggest task in this election was to keep the Lingayat vote together with the BJP. You know, with the likes of Jagdish Shettar and, you know, Lakshman Sewadi leaving the party because they were denied tickets. So this perception went out that, you know, the Lingayats are not so happy with the BJP in this election. Some of the voter may move away. So I think Mr. Yediyurappa has strongly tried to address that point. And I remember him going to Hubli, to Jagdish Shettar's constituency, and do a rally there and say that, you know, Jagdish Shettar has backstabbed the party, he's backstabbed the Lingayat community and the Lingayats. The BJP is the only party which takes care of the Lingayats and has been its strong, you know, votary in the past. The Lingayats have brought the BJP to the power in the state multiple times. So I think Mr. Yediyurappa's main task in this election also to keep the cadre together, because there was this feeling that Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa retiring from active politics, will the cadre also get split in the state, you know, between the various factions? I think Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa has managed to, though I believe that one point, I think Mr. Shettar controversy was kind of a setback, because Mr. Yediyurappa on record said that, you know, 95% Mr. Shettar will get the ticket and I'll be able to convince everybody to give him a ticket, but that did not happen. So that is something that I think came as a setback to Mr. Yediyurappa. He was also lying low for a couple of days after that controversy, but I think later he came back into the election very strongly and he's been campaigning everywhere. And I think more so also the future of his son in the party, I think that is what is key. Now, if the BJP wins, what role does Vijendra get? And does he is able to take forward the legacy of B.S. Yediyurappa in Karnataka? I think is going to be very important in the days to come.
And it will be an interesting watch. What next for B.S. Yediyurappa? He is of course the member of the highest decision-making body of the BJP, which is the BJP Parliamentary Board. Let me go back to ground zero, where the polling is happening. Akshara is joining me. Akshara, what are you seeing in the morning? Are there more youngsters, or are there senior citizens who have decided to step out to cast their vote, do their duty before they begin their day?
Well, just now, before coming to Girinagar here, we were tracking Jayanagar constituency in Bengaluru. So there was a good turnout, voter turnout there. We got to see a more number of senior citizens turning out to vote early morning as well. And we had Nirmala Sitaramu cast her vote in early morning Jayanagar constituency. Right now we are here in Bengaluru South Girinagar. As you can see in the visuals, there's a good voter turnout in Bengaluru. So there was a complaint earlier last time that there was a less voter turnout, voter percentage, but this time around we're getting to see more number of voters who are already lined up. Let me quickly cut across and speak to them. Sir, good morning, sir. So you're voting today. So what are the issues which you're keeping in mind while casting your vote today?
So there is no such issue kind of thing keeping in mind. So what we concentrate is more about the development of Karnataka, and we just want the poverty to be upheld, and it should not be. It should be addressed definitely. And we have confidence in BJP government, and we definitely vote for them.
Okay, so how's the work being done here? What work do you expect in this particular constituency here?
It's more about the policies what we are expecting than the development in this particular area. I don't see any, we are particularly Girinagar. It's good. It's I don't see any bad thing about Girinagar.
Okay.
It's clean and clear. Yeah.
So there you go, you have voters pointing out the fact that a good amount of work is being done here in Girinagar, and they are also looking out for policies. Let me quickly cut across and listening to other voters as well. Sir, namaste. Would you like to talk to us, sir? No, sorry. Would you like to talk to us now? Okay. So they're standing in queue. They want to vote, get in early, cast their votes. So trying to bring the change, the opportunity which you get once in 5 years. But this particular constituency, Girinagar, which falls under Baswantagudi constituency, Girinagar area, it is said to be a BJP stronghold. And also Tejasvi Surya from Bengaluru South, the MP, was elected from here. So he'll also be coming here very shortly to cast his vote.
Okay. Tejasvi Surya's, polling booth is where Akshara is. Akshara, we are seeing that youth have finally decided to step out before breakfast, perhaps. But, Election Commission actually issued notices to those 3-4 restaurants which had promised free dosa and idli and sambar. What happened? So they have withdrawn that freebie.
Well, yes, first, just a couple of days ahead of assembly elections, a couple of hotels, announced that they'll be giving free dosas and free meals to voters, first-time voters, and also first 100 first-time voters will be getting a film ticket. So that was the offer right there, and a few objected to this, and also it was going on in High Court yesterday. And after all the hearing, finally High Court had to take back its order, and which had brought a stay to that particular announcement by these hotels. And right now they have given a free hand to them and stating that yes, you can go ahead and provide them free meals or anything which you have promised, for that matter, for the voters who have voted. So yes, it's on the go. So voters, in a few restaurants, apart from providing food meals, free meals, or 50% discount in what they buy to eat there, there are also certain hotels who are providing film tickets also. So that's the thing there. First time voters and other voters also will be getting a discount when they eat in certain restaurants, or free meals, one-time meal, and also film tickets, as I mentioned right now.
So which film ticket, Akshara? Because if a voter is interested in a particular film ticket, so will he have the option of choosing the movie that he wishes to watch? He or she wishes to watch.
I think that will not be the option. Whichever movie is running in the theaters right now, so I think they'll be getting those tickets, and we have to actually head out to those restaurants and hotels nearby and ask them which particular movie tickets are you providing them. I think the Panniyin Selvan movie which is running now, I think they'll be getting those tickets.
So Panniyin Selvan movie. Okay, Akshara, move around and give us a sense. Talk to people.
Yes, yeah, sure. Sir, namaste. Sir, vote madadra? Did you vote, sir? So how is it, sir? You're voting here. So do you think any work that needs to be done in the constituency? What issues do you have in mind, or do you want any particular work that needs to be done in this constituency which has not been done yet?
Constituency overall it's okay, but see, roads are not that. Roads have to be be improved.
Okay.
Roads are not that good. Earlier it was not like that. So now the transport is has to be
Okay.
transport.
So various parties are promising certain schemes or projects or any other facilities for that matter. So what do you have to say about this? So what comes to your mind while voting?
Oh, people say a lot of things, but see whether they can do it or not, that is not sure, no.
Okay.
And people also do not remember what they have said and what is being done in the time of their rule.
So, as he pointed out, potholes, bad stretch of roads,
Will you ask him that
infrastructure
as a resident of
will be
Bengaluru,
problems
what
here.
are the issues on which he has cast his vote? Issues kya hai? You know, the reason why I'm saying issues, because there are a lot of people who are saying that caste remains a dominant factor, although people in Bengaluru are most impacted by infrastructure issues.
Well, sir, I have one more question for you. So, what issues were in your mind? Keeping what issues in mind did you cast your vote today, sir? Which work do you want to get it done, or issues in your mind while voting?
Overall, in our the position in our country is far better than all other countries. So, the current regime, if they continue to do both in center and state, we can expect more.
Any particular work which you want to get done, like potholes need to be filled, we need good roads, or recently Bengaluru witnessed flooding as well. So what do you have to say about
that? That's what, see, infrastructure this thing to be improved.
Okay. And
that I think they will do it.
And apart from infrastructure, so when it comes to Bangalore, what other work do you think needs to be done? Not just in your constituency, in your constituency and other constituencies as well.
Apart from that, see, now the milk problem between Nandini and other things. That is the overall. I think the people, the administration is managing. So in Bangalore, the administration is quite responsive.
So what is your take on this actually? You pointed out the fact that there's an issue surrounding Nandini and Amul.
See, the government will decide, the coming government will decide. Everything is okay. As it is, we don't have any problem regarding this thing. Even if Amul, other things, come also, it will be good. See, people who want, they can have other this thing. So there will be this thing. Competition is always good, no?
So you say competition is good, so Amul entry to Karnataka is good. That's what you're saying.
It will definitely improve. See, many things we see, and there are insurance, this thing. Insurance also, I retired from, see, when private institutions come, things do improve. So, because of the competition. It should be healthy competition, that's all. There should not be any healthy competition.
Akshara, what
always
about
better
your
in
vote?
any field.
Okay, sir, okay.
Akshara, what about your vote? Where do you plan to cast your vote?
My vote falls under Govindraj Nagar constituency, and I have to finish my reporting here and head back there and cast my vote when I'm done with the ground reporting here. So hopefully I'll be done with this soon and go cast my vote and once again come back. So it's hit the ground running once again after this.
Akshara, I'm going to come back to you in just a bit. Perhaps you'll get time to cast your vote. Let me get another reporter from the ground, and Ritu is joining us live. Ritu, what's the action where you are?
Well, we are here in the stronghold of the Siddaramaiah, the Varuna constituency. There you can see in the visual the Karnataka public school, where people have all lined up to cast their valuable votes, as they go on to say us that my vote is my right. And that's really a matter of pride as well in the democratic setup, that you can see people coming and exercising their franchise. Most of them all happen to be the senior citizens. See that, the Siddaramana Hundi, where this particular booth is a very rural area. It's completely a village, in fact. So we get to see a lot of people coming in the early morning and lining up here to cast their votes. So these are the visuals that we are bringing to you. So this is the place where the former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah too will be coming at around 10 a.m. Now this is very important, the important assembly constituency for the Congress, because especially you see for Siddaramaiah, the Varuna constituency happens to be very close to his heart, even to his family members as well. This particular constituency has always supported his family members. You remember 2008, 2013, the Siddaramaiah won from this Varuna constituency, and also in 2018 is when he decided to give this constituency to his son Yatindra by profession, who happens to be the doctor, and that's the reason he himself, Yatindra, also calls himself an accidental politician. So that's when in the 2018 that he entered the politics. But now while talking to the voters here, while most of the voters are quite happy about the kind of development works that had taken up, whether it's about the supply of electricity, water supply for that matter, and also moreover the concrete roads have come up. So this is something that makes them really happy. No, but what really they want is that the Varuna to be considered as in the taluk. So that remains on their mind while they are really voting here, coming here in the huge number and voting here. Also, you see, most of the senior citizens are also encouraging the first-time voters to come out along with them and cast their votes. So that's really something interesting. Even while we were traveling across this area, we could really see a lot of people pulling out their neighbors, and also moreover the youngsters to come along with them in the vehicle. They are accompanying each other to come here to cast their votes. So that's really something interesting and nice about it. But do not forget that the BJP has also fielded in a strong Lingayat leader, V. Somanna, in this constituency. While this doesn't happen to be his constituency, it's the home constituency of Siddaramaiah for the BJP. It's a clear cut strategy that one can really try and understand, that they want to divide the voters here in the Varuna, because Lingayats here are around 60,000 voters are Lingayats, 51,000 are from SC, ST, 20,000 are from the Kuruba. So Siddaramaiah comes from a Kuruba community, and you see 15,000 voters are again from Vokkaligas. So here the Siddaramaiah is really a mass leader that one can try and understand as well. So that's the reason why the Siddaramaiah went on to say that this is going
we
to
haven't
be his
seen
last
him step
election.
out to cast his vote. When does he plan to cast his vote? Okay, those are visuals coming in of the incumbent Chief Minister, Mr. Bomai, who has gone out to cast his right. An important election for him, a crucial election for him. Although the BJP has not really announced him as a potential Chief Minister if the BJP were to win, but he's seen as largely a man of the masses, a man of few words, but also somebody who's very, very affable. Perhaps the only Chief Minister, Aman, who posted a picture of when his dog died. So that also shows his animal connect.
And it's somebody in the league of like a Pushkar Dhami, a low-profile CM, but somebody who delivers. That is how the BJP has always, and a younger face. So the BJP has been, if you see Maria, across all the states, BJP has been trying to go in for younger generational change and younger faces as CM. So be it the Deputy CM Devendra Fadnavis in Maharashtra, be it Mr. Bomai, be it Mr. Pushkar Dhami. So BJP also moving in that direction to get a second leadership in the states ready. But this obviously is the biggest challenge for BS Bomai, to repeat, and no government has been able to repeat in Karnataka for a very, very long time, and to repeat a government, and despite the kind of I would say a very, very strong attack from the Congress in this election. It started off with the Pay CM campaign, the 40% commission allegation that the Congress put on the BJP, and in fact directly put it on BS Bomai. And the whole contractor association thing happened, Mr. Ishwarappa thing happened. So Mr. Bomai, I think, has been under a fire for last 3 to 4 months under this Congress campaign. And also his generally the image that things were not in control of Mr. P.S. Bomai.
He was not really seen as a chief minister who was fighting this election. It was the central leadership of the BJP which had stepped in to take control over the elections, and the Prime Minister became the biggest mascot. In fact, if you look at it, it was almost like a comparison between a local election which was being fought by the Congress party, which focused on local issues, and the BJP saying, look at the double engine, look at the Prime Minister's profile and the promises that he is bringing.
Absolutely. It was Congress kept the election very, very local. Congress didn't want to deviate from the localized part of its campaign. campaign, the 5 guarantees that they promised. Obviously, Mr. Kharge came and made it a national election by calling Mr. Modi a poisonous snake, and later his comment on the BJP's Congress manifesto on banning the Bajrang Dal. That made the election, into more of a national issue election, and the BJP rightfully encashed on it, and they were waiting for that kind of opportunity. But I think the BJP making this election more about Mr. Modi, more about making Karnataka number 1, this double engine Sarkara, this shows that maybe that high degree of confidence was not there in Mr. Bomai, that Mr. Bomai can on its own, pull off this election for the BJP. Obviously, they knew that Mr. Modi has to put his might, Mr. Amit Shah had to put his might, and we saw that in this election. I think in this election, after a long time, maybe after, I would say, the Uttar Pradesh election, that we have seen the BJP put in so much of effort from the national level into a state election. That also shows that the importance of Karnataka, that the state is no less important than maybe a UP or a Bihar for the BJP, because it's a southern citadel, and as the Amit Shah called it, the gateway to south. So BJP doesn't want to lose power here at any cost, and they have tried their best. But let's see how they will. I think also, Mara, it's interesting to see, I think in this election now, the woman voter. So, if some of our reporters can actually go to the women voters who are voting, because I think the main issue of this election is this rupees 2,000 promised to women by the Congress per month. Priyanka Gandhi promised this almost 2.5 months ago. I think this election is firmly focused on that one promise of the Congress. Does the woman voter of the Karnataka, does it fall for that promise, or does it stick to the BJP? Because BJP in all states in Lok Sabha elections also, the woman voter has been very, very strong with the BJP on various welfare schemes, be it the Ujjwala scheme, be it the toilet scheme, be it the Har Ghar Jal scheme. But the Congress now, I think slowly, is trying to get some proportion of the woman voter back in its fold. So, this rupees 2,000 promise, it started off in fact with Himachal, when they promised rupees 1,500 to women per month. That Congress won Himachal, I think, because of that promise, along with the OPS promise. And now it's replicated it in Karnataka by offering rupees 2,000 if they win. So that's, I think, a major amount. And I saw yesterday Mr. Kamal Nath also announced 1,500 rupees to women if Congress comes to power in Madhya Pradesh. So I think they are adopting this template very, very strongly.
So they have realized that women, that's a like Adi Abadi, Pura Hak ki jo ladai chal rahi hai. Women are an important factor, and women decide not only their vote, but also the vote of the entire household. So they can change elections. Those are the visuals of Basavaraj Bommai, Chief Minister of Karnataka, perhaps, who will be giving a sound bite after, he's saying ki bahar chalo, let's move away from the polling booth. And right, because media, if it is very near the polling booth, it will be seen as almost appealing to the voters, and which will be a violation of the Model Code of Conduct, Aman. So it cannot be, any sound bite cannot be in the premises. It has to be like really, really away.
To exit the polling booth,
really away from the polling booth. You can see several mics there. All of them in Shigaon, Karnataka, where Basavaraj Bommai has gone to cast his vote. Basavaraj Bommai, as we said, it's the central leadership of the BJP which has fought this election for him. What started as a slow start in this election, a lazy start, and with a lot of wrangling that happened for the tickets with two of its senior leaders, a former party president, a former chief minister, and a former deputy chief minister quitting the party and joining the Congress and contesting on the Congress tickets. All that will be seen. Although, interestingly, that both Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa and Mr. Bommai went on record to say that Jagdish Shettar will be fielded.
Absolutely. So that is why I was saying it was a bit of an embarrassing moment for the BJP in the election, because both Mr. Bommai and both Mr. Yediyurappa were very, very confident before media that Mr. Jagdish Shettar will come back and will be given a ticket. But clearly the central leadership of the BJP had made up its mind not to give Mr. Jagdish Shettar a ticket this time. And I think it was more about, though, I found it a bit inexplicable, Maria, frankly. He was not in that age barrier as well. He was younger than 75. But what I heard from the BJP also was that Mr. Jagdish Shettar would not have been able to win that seat further. They were very, very firmly about it. And Mr. Bommai is speaking.
Now let's listen in to what the Chief Minister is saying. Mr. Bommai, because the audio isn't clear. But the role of, the powerful General Secretary organization, Mr. B.L. Santosh, because, you know, B.S. Yediyurappa had suggested the surveys that were being cited by Mr. Santosh for selecting candidates and how it was important to highlight his role as well in these elections.
Well, yeah, I think the gossip in the BJP has been like a bit of a tussle, what would you say, between Mr. B.L. Santosh and Mr. Yediyurappa. That has been the talk in the BJP. We don't know how true that it is and how confirmed that is, but that has been the rumor that there has been a tussle. But so I listened into the Twitter space of Mr. B.L. Santosh, the very rare occasion that Mr. B.L. Santosh speaks out. And I found him pretty confident, Maria, and he was of the firm opinion. And I actually did ask him about this Congress guarantees. So very interestingly, Mr. B.L. Santosh almost admitted in this answer that yes, these guarantees and this rupees 2,000 promise has been a very, very strong campaign point of the Congress. In fact, even conceded that Congress has been able to take it home to home and go to door, take it into the ground. He admitted that. But he countered that by saying that, you know, people just only don't look at guarantees anymore. People also look at credible leadership. So he was like, what is the credible leadership that the Congress has in the state? Though I would not agree with Mr. B.L. Santosh on that. I think Congress and the state leadership is far more stronger than the BJP state leadership. You know, Mr. Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivkumar, if Congress wins, whoever they choose as the chief minister, obviously Mr. Siddaramaiah is a mass leader in the state, is a leader who's widely, you know, recognized, reckoned in the state, and which Mr. Bomai is not. But I think B.L. Santosh was very clear that people are still going to see the credible leadership of Mr. Modi at the center, and the double engine. And if you see in the last two addresses of Mr. Modi, he had been stressing on this Karnataka #1 slogan. That, you know, we have to make Karnataka #1. It can only happen.
And its role in making India the $5 trillion economy. That,
Absolutely.
You know, it has its own contribution of $1 trillion. Let me go back to the reporters on the ground, क्योंकि जो जमीन पर है वो जानना जरूरी है, अमन. So इसलिए let me bring in Akshara and Ritu. But first to you, Ritu, I want to understand, where is Mr. Siddaramaiah? I mean, he is seen as what B.S. Yediyurappa is to BJP. Mr. Siddaramaiah is to the Congress. He has been, you know, almost fighting these elections on his shoulders. The entire battle on his shoulders.
Very true. You call it as in the beauty of the Congress, or not sure about it. But of course, we do see that, you know, how former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is seen as in the mass leader in the Karnataka, where you see they have kept their campaigning also very local. They spoke about the local issues moreover. And, you know, whenever the star campaigners from the BJP used to visit the state, they always went on to say that when it is a local issue, when it's an assembly election, the local issues should be discussed. Why is it the national leaders often coming here in the state for the campaigning, and this will really not resonate on the ground? So that's what the Siddaramaiah had to say. But moreover, you see, this time Siddaramaiah had spent enough time in the Varuna constituency ensuring that his people get to meet him, speak to him about the issues, what are they expecting in this time, you know, if he's really been voted by them. So he has you know, spoken to them enough about it, and also he has put out his plans as well, that what he really wants to do for the people. Now, but remember, crucial point is also that the former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah had told to the people of Varuna that this is going to be his last election, and thus he wants people to vote him, because
so
this is one chance.
That was an important card, Ritu, that has been played by Mr. Siddaramaiah, that this is his last election. But Ritu, I want to understand one more thing from you. You know, the fact is that Mr. Siddaramaiah has, you know, played a huge gamble. He was to contest on 2 seats. He decided to contest only from Varuna. So that also shows his level of confidence.
Very true. You see, now there again, because the Congress high command was really somewhere scared about the fact that, you know, if Siddaramaiah happens to spend a lot of time in the constituency like Kolar, where he desperately wanted to contest actually, where the high command told him to not contest from Kolar and go back to his safe seat, that's the Varuna constituency, from where he's been elected in 2008, 2013 and 18, that he gave it to his son. But this time he should be really getting back to Varuna constituency, because people do know him very well and very closely attached to him as well. So people would really support him. That was something that, you know, the High Command tried to convince him. But on the other hand, what was really the matter about it? The High Command wanted him to spend time in the other constituencies also and help the candidates in the other districts as well to campaign for them, because he is seen as in the mass leader. We do know the kind of huge crowd that one can really witness when Siddaramaiah is on ground while talking to the people. So that's the reason the High Command told him not to contest from Kolar and go to Varuna constituency. That's the reason he is contesting from here. Now, however, you know, the Somana, where the BJP has fielded him.
Okay, now, Ritu, just hold on to your thoughts. In fact, now we can get the audio of Mr. Bomai speaking. Let's listen.
Towards democracy, and it is a privilege to vote in my own constituency. and the people of my constituency have suffered so much of love, affection, and this time I'll be winning with record margin. So is BJP is going to win record seats. A comfortable majority will be there. So there is a fight between development and negative campaign, sinister campaign, which Congress has to try to do it. But however, the people of Karnataka are always positive oriented, positive mind, and they vote for positive development. And I am sure BJP will get some Purna majority.
So what is the message that you give to the voters and key issues as well?
Yeah, that's what I said. Please vote. Vote for the success of democracy and vote for the development of Karnataka.
Sir, a lot is at stake. Are you confident of being re-elected as the Chief Minister of Karnataka?
That question will be addressed by the legislature party after election and by the parliamentary board. I'll be able to answer you after 13th.
What are your expectations, sir?
Expecting comfortable majority to Bharatiya Janata Party.
What's the number that you
Steering clear of the controversial question that was asked, certainly, that will you be returning as the Chief Minister? He said that is for the MLAs to decide post-elections. And of course, we don't know because the BJP has not formally announced him as the Chief Minister, saying that it's about the state and the centre which is jointly contesting these elections. And the entire elections, we have seen how it has been on the shoulders of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who held multiple road shows and also multiple road shows and also rallies that were held. I can see Ritu also join us. Ritu, we can see queues in which senior citizens have stepped out. Will you speak to the people and give us a sense of what are the issues that is deciding their vote?
Well, exactly. I can see here a senior citizen who had come on a wheelchair to cast her vote. Amma, you vote madadra? ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರಾ? ನೀವು ತುಂಬಾ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸಿಟಿಸನ್, ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ವೋಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದ್ಯಾ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲೀಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾರಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದ್ಯಾ?
ಏನು ಆಗಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸ?
Okay, seems like she really has some sort of an hearing impairment. So I'll just talk to another person. So vote ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದ್ಯಾ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲೀಡರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದಾರಾ?
ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ.
ಈ ಟೈಮು ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಾಯಕರು ಬಂದಾಗ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ವರುಣ ಹೇಗೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ?
ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕೆಲಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಯಾರೋ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಇವರಷ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸ ಒಬ್ರು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವರು ಇವತ್ತೆಲ್ಲ 40 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಮಾಡಾರ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಕುಡಿಯೋ ನೀರಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಇವರಂತ ಕೆಲಸ ಯಾವನು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವಧಿ ವರ್ಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ.
There you see what the voters here have to say in the Varuna constituency is that their leader Siddaramaiah had done a lot of work, because all this while when they really thought of giving a chance to the another leader, they used to be worried about it, that whether that leader will be able to do a lot of work for them or not. So now they are happy about the fact that there has been a regular power supply to them, but they really want the leader to work on it more, that there's uninterrupted electric supply for them, and the water supply has been there for them. Now concrete roads have come up in the Varuna constituency, but now important point that what they are really pointing it out is also that they want it to be considered the taluk. So this time if any leader is voted to the power, they want that leader to work on this particular thing and ensure that this particular Varuna is considered as in the taluk, and there's some sort of an high preference that will really be given to this place. But another important point, you see, while we're talking to the voters, they say that it's a matter of pride for them, because the former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has often gone on to become CM from after winning from the Varuna. He had become opposition leader as well in 2008 after winning from the Varuna. So it's his lucky seat and he should not go anywhere, and they also do not want Siddaramaiah to go to any other constituency, and this being his last election, as he himself had told it. This time the voters
in the race for the Chief Minister of the Congress party is also this man, DK Shivkumar, who is offering prayers early morning to hope that his party returns. They did put up a united front, and only recently we did see those videos of DK Shivkumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah exchanging, having a very light-hearted conversation. It was to send a message that all the differences have been sorted out, and the push and pull that may be there is not at the moment It is about DK Shivkumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah sending a message that they were united in this fight. It's a very, very important fight. And yes, it's a regional fight. Aman, I've been, trying to understand these elections, and would it be fair to say that increasingly the Congress realizes that its strength is when it can become a regional force? Because in Himachal, it was the local leaders who fought the election. Again, here it is DK Shivkumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah.
Absolutely. I think Congress is trying to keep, because Congress also knows, Maria, that when they pitch an state election against Mr. Modi, there is no chance that, they will win, because obviously Mr. Modi will make it about the BJP's national policies, about his, the nationalism pitch, the Hindutva pitch. So basically the Congress doesn't want to get into that fight at all. I think they learned their lessons in some earlier elections, and I think from Himachal, that change is visible, that the Congress wants to keep the election very local. In fact, Rahul Gandhi did not even visit Himachal because he was in the Bharat Jodo Yatra at that time. It was Priyanka Gandhi who led the campaign in Himachal. In Himachal also they went, this new formula I think that the Congress has come up, that we will promise 2, 3, 4 certain things to people, which in popular parlance we're now calling it as freebies. And they promise that we will fulfill these freebies in the first cabinet meeting itself, and this is a local election for local people. So in a way, the same voter maybe who votes for Mr. Modi and for the BJP in a national election may end up voting for the Congress in a state election because of those promises. I remember Maria going to a village in Karnataka and asking some people about these promises of the Congress. One family, interestingly, the woman told me that कि हाँ हमें सेंटर से सारा पैसा मिल रहा है, पीएम किसान निधि का पैसा आता है, बाकी पैसा भी आता है, बट अगर बीजेपी अगर यहाँ हार भी जाती है तो वो पैसा आना तो बंद नहीं होगा ना, that money will still come. But what the Congress is offering us is rupees 2,000 to women, rupees 3,000 to every graduate, and every family now has a woman and a graduate. So if you have 2 such people in your family, you get 5,000 rupees a month. So that's a big amount, for a family, and they feel 5,000 rupees state से मिलेगा, सेंटर से किसान निधि का पैसा आ रहा है, उज्ज्वला आ रहा है, स्वच्छ भारत आ रहा है, टॉयलेट आ रहा है, वो तो आ ही रहा है.
So they want what is being given by one party plus what is coming from the center.
That
won't stop.
The voter has become very intelligent, and I think the Congress has cashed in on that, promising these things. And though we have just seen Nirmala Sitharaman costing a vote, and in fact in her bite she has said that these guarantees will be a catastrophe for the the financial condition of the state. They can't be fulfilled. In fact, I remember Nirmala Sitharaman earlier saying that the total budget of Karnataka is about 3 lakh crore rupees, while the impact of these guarantees would be almost rupees 1 lakh crore. So from where will the Congress give it? So even the Congress does not tell us from where it will give it, but still they are promising that they will give it. And that is something that is is really, I think, becoming a big factor in this election. These freebies model, which the Congress I think has adopted from Kejriwal, from the Delhi success of Kejriwal.
But
and
interesting visuals that we are showing right now.
Jai Viru of no, this is Mr. Bommai. I thought it's Mr. Siddaramaiah.
No, it's Mr. Bommai and DK Shivkumar, who has been the strategist, the thinker, the planner. He embarked on a long yatra much before the model code of conduct was put in place, and he's fighting from Kanakpura, a constituency which he has won several times, and every time he has won with a bigger margin. And in fact, his strategist Naresh Arora had put out a tweet saying that he will be winning with a margin which will be bigger, which will be the highest among all the contests that are being seen in these 224 constituencies. So
that will be his pitch to become the chief minister, maybe.
Yes. So DK Shivkumar, but more or less, I think they have understood that who is number 1, who is number 2. See, they have settled in for that.
There is no doubt in Karnataka, Maria, if you go to the ground, even if you speak to the BJP for that matter, that Siddaramaiah is the mass leader. He is the more popular leader. He is the one with connect. He is the one with, the voter pull in the state. While Mr. DK Shivkumar is like the strategist, he's like the man, who's drawing up the strategy.
Treasurer.
The treasurer, in a way, the man who's looking after the entire funding as of this election, the thinker behind this election. But Siddaramaiah is like the groundsman. So it's like the Jai Viru kind of Jodi in Karnataka, which the Congress has been speaking about the unity, and they have made a real strong effort, Congress, to show that unity. But I feel this is very much like a Rajasthan kind of a situation where Mr. Ashok Gehlot, when he stepped out as CM, when he lost as CM, went a bit into the central politics, a bit into the wilderness, and Mr. Sachin Pilot put all his effort into the election, and Congress won Rajasthan, but then Mr. Ashok Gehlot was back as the CM.
So, but the age gap between the two isn't too much.
Isn't too much, and I think my bet is on if the Congress wins, I think it will be Siddaramaiah who will be the CM.
Yeah.
And Mr. Shiv Kumar
So
may...
we'll wait for his turn because anyways Mr. Siddaramaiah has announced that this is his last election.
Yeah.
So perhaps he'll wait for the next election.
And Rahul Gandhi is very fond of Siddaramaiah as well. So, you know, he's seen as the...
But Priyanka Gandhi is fond of Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar.
Yeah. but I think Siddaramaiah is also, you know, this formidable combination, the Kurba Muslim vote, which has united in behind the Congress, you know, 27-28% vote. If the Congress wins, I think it will be mainly due to Mr. Siddaramaiah's efforts and connect on the ground. And I think he'll be CM. But will that lead to another tussle? You know, like we have seen in Rajasthan, that remains to be seen. Will Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar...
I'll make a distinction between Rajasthan Congress and, you know, Karnataka Congress, because Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar here has realized that he will always be seen as next to
Siddaramaiah.
Mr. Siddaramaiah.
Number 2 as such, yeah.
You know?
But everybody has ambitions, Maria. You never know what the after the election result, what springs up. But, and also if it is also, Maria, if I feel, if it is a very tight result, you know, if it is a borderline result, then does Mr. Shiv Kumar become more important because he's the one who can manage the numbers, who can, you know, work the telephone lines and, you know, get this MLA, that MLA to support you, maybe speak to the JDS. You know, he's seen more of that man who can do those connections. So I think if it's a comfortable win for the Congress, there's no doubt that Siddaramaiah will be the CM. If it's a borderline case, if it's a tight election, that I think Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar's chances of becoming the CM are also
so
very much
13th
there.
will decide the Chief Minister. But, you know, we have seen a clear distinction as far as the two states are concerned. Here, D.K. Shiv Kumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah have more or less learned to coexist.
Yeah.
But as far as, you know, Sachin Pilot and Mr. Ashok Gehlot is concerned, Sachin Pilot is waging a war against corruption, and he says that, of course, this is against corruption, but it's visibly is being seen against Mr. Ashok Gehlot's stand and his supposedly weak stand against corruption. Let's listen in to D.K. Shiv Kumar.
ಸೊ ಮತದಾನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಕಬ್ಬಾಳ ಮುಂದೆ ಸಮೇತ ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆ ಈಗ ಕುಟುಂಬ ಸಮೇತ ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ 15-16 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಮತದಾನ
ಸರ್, ಇವತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪುತ್ರರು ಕೂಡ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಬಾರಿ ಮತದಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಪುತ್ರನೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪುತ್ರಿನೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜ್ವರ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಕಾಶ್ ಕೆಂಪೇಗೌಡ ಆಭರಣ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ಮತದಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸದುಗೆ ಮುಂದಿದೆ. ನಾನು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊಸ ಮಂತ್ರಾಲಯ ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ, ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ತರಬೇಕು, ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರೊಂದು ನಾಂದಿ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ತೀರ್ಪು ಇಡೀ ದೇಶ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರ ಸಂದೇಶವನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಹುಶಃ ನಮ್ಮ ಯುವ ಮತದಾರರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಹಳ ವಿದ್ಯಾವಂತರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾವಂತರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೂಕ್ತ ತೀರ್ಮಾನವನ್ನು ಈ ದುಷ್ಟ ಆಡಳಿತವನ್ನು ತಂದು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಮುನ್ನೋಟು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಚಿಂತನೆ ಇದೆ, ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹೆಸರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಓಟೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಈ ವಯಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ರಾಜೀವ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ 21ರಿಂದ 18 ವಯಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಇರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಶುಭವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವದ ಆಚರಣೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಕಾಯ್ದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ಸರ್, ಆರ್ ಅಶೋಕ್ ಅವರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತರಗಳಿಂದ ಸರ್
ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತದು, ಚೀಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಯಾರು ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರ ನಂಗೆ ಗೆಲ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತರ ಗೆಲ್ತಾರೋ ಯಾರು ಗೆಲ್ತಾರೋ ಯಾರು ಸೋಲ್ತಾರೋ ಗುಪ್ತ ಮತದಾನ ಮುಗಿಲಿ 13ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ನನ್ನ ಮತದಾರರು ದೇವರುಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಯಾರದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ವೋಟ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ತಿಳಿಯೋಣ ಓಕೆ ದಿಸ್ I'm here with the goddess of my family. This goddess called Kinkerama. My house is named after this goddess called Kinkera. Whenever I come to a final function, I come here, we gather for prayer and we go. Now before going to the work, also I come here. So we believe in our own culture, traditions. So this is a very sacred for any of the family members. So that is why I have come here. My family is not today, young voters have got a great opportunity. Rather than gave an opportunity from 21 to 18. I think this is the festival of democracy. They will vote for a change. I have already requested all of them, congratulated them, and they will vote for a change. A change for a progressive Karnataka, for a development Karnataka, to make Karnataka a global Karnataka again. And they all know about the price rise, they know about the corruption. They wanted to eradicate the corruption in the state. I am sure they will go for a change. They will give us 141 seats. I am confident that Congress party will form the government.
Sir, Nirmala Sitharaman is saying Congress need to see their own tenure on inflation.
See, Mr. Modi ji said to all the voters last time, Bhayo Behno, you before casting your vote, you please see your gas cylinder, put namaskara and go and vote. I am also appealing to everyone, Bhayo Behno, from 445 rupees to it has gone to 1,200 rupees. Please cast your vote as per our Prime Minister's request and our advice. Let us go and look at our gas cylinder. I have advised all my leaders to put a gas cylinder outside the booth and put a garland to it. I hope they might have done it. ಈಗ ನಾನು ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮತದಾರರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾಯಕರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಬೂತ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಒಂದು ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ಇಡಿ. ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು
garland on it, that will be seen as violation of model code of conduct.
हमारा केपीसीसी का जो नया ऑफिस है बैंगलोर में, उसमें जो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस का जो रूम है उसमें गैस सिलेंडर रखा हुआ है पीछे परमानेंटली। जब से राहुल गांधी ने उसको इनॉग्रेट किया, कांग्रेस उसको हरा दिया। नहीं, असली गैस सिलेंडर है, उस वहां पीछे रखा हुआ है स्टेज के पीछे, टू शो दैट डीके शिव कुमार इज सेइंग दैट 475 rupees it was the gas cylinder when Congress went out of power, and now it's about 1200 rupees and all that. So obviously BJP has Congress has also pitched this election on inflation.
And,
so you know, yeah,
and the BJP in its manifesto announced 3 gas cylinders.
So that was also because of this, you know, that BJP also realized that BJP obviously says that, you know, ये Russia Ukraine war की वजह से the LPG prices increased and something they could not do anything about it. So that is why they've offered 3 free gas cylinders to people every year on 3 auspicious Hindu festival days. So that BJP is offered, but Congress has pitched this election also on price rise and its 5 guarantees. I think these are the 2 issues.
Unemployment as well.
Unemployment as well, and you know, guarantees का भी जब कांग्रेस बोलती है पैसा हम ये आपको देंगे, this is also to counter inflation. Because inflation has increased, this money will help you run your
But is inflation a talking point the way it was in Himachal?
It is. I think on the ground in a state election, I think inflation is a talking point because obviously the prices are higher. LPG prices higher, ration prices are higher. So that is something that people talk about. But obviously, in the end, people also feel that Mr. Modi is there. He will take care
Strong
of it.
leader.
The strong leader is there. Maybe it's a global issue. BJP has also been trying to tell the people that it's not just India. In fact, other countries are facing much higher inflation. India, it's still the inflation rate is low, and that is also because of global factors.
And when we look at that letter, letter that was sent by Prime Minister, an open letter to the people of Karnataka, he only talked about a very clear vision or roadmap for Karnataka. Do you think that shift that we are seeing, because the BJP also realizes that, all that may be a good talking point, Bajrang Dal and all, the nationalism is an important issue, but then you have to get to brass tacks. You have to talk about the issues that impact the people of Karnataka.
Absolutely. I think development, Mara, is a very, very strong issue. And in a state like Karnataka, which is the, the IT capital of the country and where there's a lot of number one and, investments, startups, I think in such a state to talk about development is very, very important. BJP has tried to keep it on that because BJP also feels that if they focus on development in the state and focus on the double engine Sarkar, and they also keep on saying that, the strong pitch by the BJP that states which do not have BJP governments, they're always in a constant confrontation with the center. So, the state's development suffers, and if they, as Mr. Nadda famously said, and now came under attack for saying that Modi ji ka Ashirwad state ko milega, to state grow karega. State will develop. So, I think that is something that, BJP has been trying to impress कि दूसरी पार्टी की सरकार अगर कर्नाटका में आ गई तो हमेशा मोदी जी से लड़ती रहेगी.
लेकिन interestingly, when the results came on that day, the BJP had got that phenomenal victory in Gujarat, and they lost Himachal Pradesh. At that time, Prime Minister Modi had said very clearly that he will not lose focus on Himachal. Himachal will continue to benefit from the center. So, is the Congress making it a very local election? The pitch that has come from DK Shivkumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah. George Kurian is also joining us. Mr. Kurian, what is the mood?
Well, the Congress party is very confident about surpassing the halfway mark on its own. The Congress party has focused on the rising inflation, be it the unemployment, growing unemployment among the youth, the women's security. It's looking into the women development aspect as well, and also the farmers and the fishermen. So the Congress party has taken all sections of the society, and it's confident it will deliver to its optimum to secure the Karnataka people of Karnataka.
So, okay.
And Priyanka Gandhi has also categorically urged the voters to come out in large numbers and vote for a capable government that works tirelessly.
But what exactly has been the role of Mrs. Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and Rahul Gandhi in these elections? Okay, one moment, just hold on to your thoughts. DK Shivkumar is speaking to Pallavi Ghosh.
What did they do? They said that they are going to get the farmers double income, common in a man and double income. Nothing has been done. Even on COVID, the corruption they made, it is very rampant. You know about the bed scam. Mr. Tejas Surya came out with a bed scam, blocking scam. What is that? 10,000 beds were being laid on the BMIC or this exhibition center. Who slept there? Where did the money go? What were the central government purchase on PP kits and the medical? This one. The corruption was not only 40%, it was more than 200%.
But fair enough. But don't you think the problem for the Congress party will begin if you come to power? Because who becomes the chief minister? People would also want to know that.
Why?
Are you ready to give up the CM post in case they make Siddaramaiah or someone else the chief minister?
Why are you worrying about Congress chief minister post? You just worry about how we have to save Karnataka. Chief minister is not the solution for Karnataka. All of us working together, joining together, give the good governance is very important.
Thank you so much for speaking this evening.
So here is Mr. DK Shivkumar saying that all's well, and it's about the victory, and they are fairly confident of the numbers. So obviously on polling day, what else do you expect from leaders? Mr. Kurian, I mean, सब नेता अपने आप को यही ना बोलेगा कि हम चुनाव जीत रहे हैं. कोई और, you cannot say anything else, right?
Well, Maria, it is not just for the sake of saying that the Congress party is going all out and saying that we'll surpass the halfway mark on it on our own. It is based on the last 3.5 years of misgovernance from the BJP. We all know everything is in public domain for everyone to see about the Contractors Association claiming that there is a 40% commission that without which work doesn't move forward. So, and the growing inflation in the country, in Karnataka, to be very specific. So, keeping all these factors in mind, the people have made up their mind to vote in Congress government, like in 2013, they had given Congress a big number. It's going to repeat, and Congress is going to form its government on its own.
Okay. Okay, so when we were to now look at one party which has made it about local issues, the other party has made it about national issues, it's local versus national, that is the visible pitch that we see on ground. It's about whether the party will be able to buck the trend. The BJP is known of having done that. The state of Karnataka has never voted a ruling party with a majority. Congress is banking on that trend. BJP is hoping to buck that trend. So, lots at stake on 10th because if Congress were to win this election, in the run-up to 2024, there will be a lot of talks of the Congress being the real fulcrum of opposition unity. But it also sends a message that when Congress becomes a regional player, yes, it's a national party, but it fights elections like a regional player, then it becomes a formidable force.
Well, as we are all aware that the Congress has a national footprint across India, it's just a matter of time for the Congress party to revive its cadre and the state leadership to take on any ruling dispensation. And as we all know, the IPL season is going on, and let me just put it across for the benefit of your viewers that the BJP neither has good bowling side, neither the fielding and the batting order in place. They have the team players are not in
no, the batting order is being led by the opening batsman is Prime Minister Modi.
And the pitch and the weather is also not in favor of the
so let's speak in cricket analogies. The opening batsman is Prime Minister Modi, and in the last 2 weeks, the BJP has shown that they can do good fielding, and they have also managed to ensure that the pitch is such that the Congress is playing on their pitch. The Bajrang Dal pitch was of the BJP.
Maria, it is important to understand, and for the voters also, it's the state leadership that has to take the baton forward. It's the Prime Minister has his own roles and responsibility that he has to take care of, and he cannot look into the daily functions of the state government. So the Prime Minister can be a good campaigner, no doubt about it, with the position that he holds, but it's the local leadership that has to take it forward. Okay, and today the Bharatiya Janata Party don't have it.
Then, Aman, will it be fair to say that, let's keep it in the cricket analogies only, what happened in the last 2 weeks?
Well, I think, as you said, Mr. Modi is the opening batsman, Mr. Modi is the opening bowler, and Mr. Modi is the umpire as well, it seems, for the BJP in this election. He is the one leading the charge. But I think कांग्रेस ने इस इलेक्शन में आई वुड से 3 गलतियां की हैं जिससे बीजेपी का इलेक्शन मोमेंटम पकड़ा गया है. बीजेपी ने इलेक्शन मोमेंटम पकड़ा है. आई थिंक टिल द 25th of April, लेट मी स्प्लिट इट लाइक दैट.
कांग्रेस देयर वर 2 इलेक्शंस दैट
देयर वर 2 इलेक्शंस टिल 25 अप्रैल तक हम कह सकते हैं कि कांग्रेस वाज इन अ वेरी वेरी स्ट्रांग पोजीशन. इट वाज सेटिंग द एजेंडा इन कर्नाटका. इट वाज सेटिंग द एजेंडा. दिट वाज लॉट ऑफ टॉक अबाउट, बट आई थिंक 3 मिस्टेक्स आई वुड पुट इट. फर्स्ट मिस्टेक, obviously the poisonous snake remark by Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. Till then, and Congress has also learnt it in past elections that personal attacks on the Prime Minister really don't work. So, इसको करने का कोई फायदा नहीं है. Backfire करता है. Mr. Modi encashes on it. The entire BJP encashes on it. That was an avoidable thing. And I think Mr. Congress soon enough realized it. And within an hour, we had Mr. Kharge expressing special regret to get over that with that controversy. But obviously, Mr. Modi did raise it up and raise it up very strongly. Second, obviously, was this, I've never understood why the Congress had to put this Bajrang Dal ban in their manifesto. First thing, a state government can't ban an organization. The first thing is they can't even ban the Bajrang Dal if they want to. It's the center's call. You can only recommend to the center. Like PFI was banned by the center. So why to put this thing in the manifesto? I never could understand why the Congress did that. Obviously, the BJP took it on head on and, you know, made this into Bajrang Bali, Hanuman. You know, Bajrang Bali was born in Karnataka, Maria. He does have a wide resonance. The issue resonated, and Mr. Modi himself saying Jai Bajrang Bali from all the platforms of the election campaign.
That almost became like a running motive.
That became the theme of the last week's election. You know,
And
Jai
even
Bajrang
in the
Bali.
road
Yeah.
shows.
Road shows. Bajrang Bali became, and Lord Hanuman has become the theme of the last week election. And the last mistake, I think, was this Congress social media cell putting out a comment which Sonia Gandhi never made about the sovereignty and integrity of Karnataka. She never even said it in a poll speech, and the Congress social media cell put it out. The tweet is still very much there, and Mr. Modi launched into it on the last day of the election. I think all these three events, the poisonous snake remark, the Bajrang Dal ban, and the sovereignty tweet of the Congress, these three issues gave a very, very strong plank to the BJP to, I think, come back into the election very, very strongly, you know, post the 25th, and, you know, really peak. I think the BJP's campaign definitely peaked at the correct time, you know, towards the last stage. Congress peaked early, but obviously the Congress feels that, you know, the peak it achieved, it has remained there. The Congress campaign in a way plateaued after the 24th or 25th. You know, it didn't have the national level firepower. It did have Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, but not obviously of the level of the firepower that Mr. Modi has or Mr. Amit Shah has. And that, I think, Congress felt it in the last days that, you know, so I think the Congress went back into the last days, back on its 5 guarantees. You know, you saw Rahul Gandhi saying that in all his rallies, there will be 5 guarantee.
But Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi ne itna aggressively campaign nahi kiya. So if Congress were to win on 13th, this will be about Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar's victory.
Absolutely. I think the Congress, if Congress wins, Maria, the foundation was laid in the respective yatras taken out by Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar.
And joint yatra as well.
Across the state. Yes, exactly. And 2 months in advance, I think those yatras, Maria, if you go to the ground, you know, I went to some cities and villages, that guarantee card of the Congress. So this is like a guarantee card. It's a small it's a small page. With carrying those 4 guarantees of the Congress, and it is co-signed by DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah. Both have signed it. That guarantee card during those yatras has reached every house. You know, they have managed to take it house to house, and if you go to a house,
मतलब क्या ये इस तरह का पेपर है?
इस तरह का पेपर है, वोटर निकाल के दिखाता है कि देखिए ये देकर गए थे, ये 4 चीजें साइन किया हुआ है.
4 है बस.
4
है. So they have not confused it with too many things.
It's 4 guarantees. 5th one they later added about that free bus travel for women. That was added later, but वो guarantee card पे 4 ही था. अगर आप कांग्रेस के ऑफिस भी जाएंगे हमारे बैंगलोर में, उस पूरे ऑफिस में सिर्फ एक ही पोस्टर है, ये गारंटी कार्ड का. You know, there is no other poster. They kept the campaign on that. वो 10 kg rice, you know, 3,000 rupees to a graduate for 2 years, 2,000 rupees to women. So they have kept the guarantee card very, very simple.
So there is resonance with that.
There is resonance with that. People feel कि ये क्योंकि कोई साइन करके देके गया है ना, तो गांव में ये भी होता है ना, साइन देख करके देखे ये मिलेगा.
तो ये चेक है.
ये चेक है. ये जो पावर में आएंगे तो चारों चीजें मिलेंगी.
इसको जाकर के हम देंगे बैंक में तो शायद मिल भी जाए.
बीजेपी चाहे जो मर्जी कहती रहे कि फिस्कल डेफिसिट होगा, ये दे नहीं पाएंगे, 1 लाख करोड़ है, कैसा देंगे, जो भी है. पुअर वोटर को लगता है नहीं मिलेगा, ये बोल के गए तो शायद मिलेगा. चलो पूरा नहीं मिलेगा, आधा तो मिलेगा, कुछ तो मिलेगा इसमें से. So you know that I think Congress was very successful in doing in this election, and that I think a template that the Congress may adopt for the Lok Sabha election next year. That you know that I would say.
लेकिन फिर कौन साइन करेगा?
न्याय 2.0. वह राहुल और प्रियंका साइन कर देंगे, दोनों खाड़गे जी भी साइन कर देंगे शायद.
नहीं तो बहुत सारे लोगों का नाम फिर कंफ्यूजन हो जाएगा.
I think न्याय 2.0 is coming. You know, in the next election, BJP has seen this as model. अगर कर्नाटका कांग्रेस जीत जाती है, so I think this is the model they're going to adopt fully, give freebies. And as Rahul Gandhi said in the Kolar rally where I was there, that you know he accused that BJP जो है वो is enriching a certain industrialist. हम लोगों को enrich करेंगे, हम लोगों को पैसा देंगे. So you know that line I think has a bit resonated amongst the people there, and let's see how much results it brings. But जो कांग्रेस ने self goal कर दिए हैं 2-3 इस election में, that actually has dented them. They may not admit it, but obviously those self goals have dented the Congress, and BJP इसको कितना encash कर पाएगी, I think we will know on the 13th. And
so ये George Kurian I think continues to be with us. Was there some disconnect between Mr. Kharge and the rest of the Congress in Karnataka, Mr. Kurian? You know, because Mr. Kharge was the one who started with this you know, poisonous snake jibe. That was almost seen as a turning point, and then for another turning point came with the Bajrang Dal ban. So why would you bring out a manifesto? जब सरकार आती है तो बहुत सारे decisions होते हैं. That made almost everybody compare this ban with a PFI ban.
Well, not really. Let me just put my perspective here. The Congress party is very clear and transparent when it comes to things that they want to do and for the people of Karnataka. So that is the reason they have mentioned in the manifesto itself that organizations such as PFI or Bajrang Dal, they haven't gone ahead and said that they're going to ban it because there are legal formalities and implications to it. Having said that, let me also correct that the personal attacks could have been avoided. I agree. I fully agree on that one. But when it comes to election campaigning and campaign trail,
heat of
such
the
things
election
do
may,
happen.
when you are up against BJP, you know fully well that they have that control over narrative, they manage narrative, they can turn elections in the last 48 to 72 hours. They have that machinery which ensures that that message gets traveled to each and every household. Then why would you give that opening to the BJP? आपके बॉलर ने अगर गलत बॉलिंग की तो उनको बैटिंग का क्यों ब्लेम करना? They have batted it out of the park. It's a 6.
On that aspect, I fully agree that the Congress party could have avoided or giving any kind of opportunity to the ruling dispensation or the BJP because they have a very strong social media and a cater to maneuver things. Having said that,
in fact, Mr. B.S. Yedurappa is speaking to Purnima. Let's listen in.
Our government and also central government. On that basis, I am telling you that we are going to get absolute majority and we are going to form the government.
Sir, if there is a hung assembly that we've seen before also in the state, would you be open to forming an alliance with the JDS?
That question does not arise. I am telling you, 101% we are going to get absolute majority. Question of taking support from any other political party does not arise.
So this is also the first time that you're not contesting. Your son has more responsibility as well. But how do you see the mood, sir? Because will your absence from contesting, will it have an impact for the BJP?
Not at all, because long back I have taken decision and also I resigned for chief ministership and also I told long back that I am not going to contest for assembly election. And I am active in politics and toured in the entire state. And my son is contesting from here because of people also forced him to contest. And he'll get more than 40,000 margin this time, Vijayendra. And also, according to me, we are going to get absolute majority in the state and we are going to form the government without anybody's support.
Sir, will anti-incumbency really have an impact? Because that's
there is no question of anti-incumbency because my government has given very good programs and also SC/ST reservation also helped us a lot. These are all is going to help us to get absolute majority.
And will the Lingayat community, back you? Because that the Congress has also spoken about how
Lingayat community, I have requested them to support BJP because 101% they are going to more than 90% Lingayat community people are going to support BJP. There is no doubt about it.
Thank you so much for talking to CNN News 18. With camera person Saravana, this is
I
Purnima
see that
Murli.
like more of a father speaking than a BJP leader because he said my son Vijayendra will win big. So it was about him realizing that this is about handing over the baton.
Absolutely. And I remember Mr. Yedurappa, Vijayendra speaking in fact in an interview earlier to CNN News 18 where he said that if my father had been in charge still as the CM, BJP would have got even a bigger victory. So clearly, the Yedurappa wants his son to grow in the BJP, get an important position if the party wins, maybe something like a deputy CM, maybe if the party, and he is the prominent Lingayat face of the BJP in the Yedurappa and his son Vijayendra. So in a way, and this whole thing which had started in the BJP, a couple of weeks back that we should declare a Lingayat CM will become a CM. That clamor I think also started from this camp. That there should be a clear thing that who is becoming the next CM because Maria, if the Lingayat vote, if Congress
17%,
and as Mr. Yedurappa is saying, 80 to 85% of that do vote for the BJP. But the Congress is this time is really targeting the Lingayat vote, and if it is able to corner maybe 25 to 30% of the Lingayat vote, the Congress, that could be the decisive factor in this election. So clearly the BJP wants to hold on to its Lingayat the stronghold, while Congress, by getting leaders like Jagdish Shettar and Lakshman Sewadi, Jagdish Shettar and Lakshman Sewadi may lose their seats for all you know. But the wider impact they may have to pull the Lingayats in some measure towards the Congress, that could really be a major factor in this election. And how the BJP, like the figures that I have in the last 2018 election, there were 55 Lingayat MLAs who won, Maria. There were 38 of them from the BJP. 13 of them from the Congress and 4 from the JDS. So clearly the BJP has a clear edge in the Lingayat. They are the most influential, they are the most important part of the electorate at nearly 17 to 18% of the voter.
But are we missing or not addressing the elephant in the room? For that, let me go straight to Ramnagara, where Neetu is joining me. Neetu? Let's address the JDS question.
I'm outside the...
Let's address the JDS question. We haven't really discussed it, Aman, for almost 2 hours. Go ahead, Neetu.
Yeah, we are at Ramnagara. We are at Ramnagara here. We are just outside the booth. This is the booth where H.D. Kumaraswamy and his family will be coming to vote in some time. Past 10 a.m. is what we understand. So now, we have seen in the past when hung assemblies have happened, JDS plays a very important role, the role of a kingmaker. Now, if you look at this Ramnagara constituency, this is known as a bastion of the JDS, and not just of the JDS, but the entire family. We saw H.D. Devegowda, we saw Kumaraswamy, Anita Kumaraswamy, and even now Nikhil Kumaraswamy is contesting from the Ramnagara constituency. So this time the JDS is saying that they are confident that they will have more number of seats, they are contesting in more seats, and not just ending up becoming a kingmaker, but will be a king. If you look at the caste into that also, it's the Vokkaligas, the dominant community in these areas, are the main supporters of the JDS, but Kumaraswamy is time and again now saying it's not just the Vokkaliga community, but the people of Karnataka will support him this time, because the national parties are not really looking for the interest of the people of Karnataka. So it is only the JDS that has the interest of the people of Karnataka in mind. So that is what Kumaraswamy has been saying. He had his yatra across the state, not just in their traditional belts, but across the state. So if ultimately after 13th, if it's a hung assembly, definitely Kumaraswamy and his JDS will have a very major role.
Nagara is where you went and you shot that image of a Sholay.
Yeah, the Sholay Hills. So Nikhil Kumaraswamy is fighting the grandson of Devegowda. Is contesting from that area. Kumaraswamy is himself fighting from that area. I think this is a make or break election for the JDS, Maria, because you know the traditional wisdom now in recent elections have been that people vote decisively for BJP or the Congress or the BJP.
So they do not really believe in a third force.
Not for third force, and they've seen it in Karnataka more. You know, in the last election that JDS, 25-30 seat jeet ke CM ban gaye. So and then it's an unstable government. So clearly, why should people vote for the JDS? I think Old Mysore region mein, because Vokkaligas are a strong votary of the JDS in the Old Mysore region, because they feel कि उनके community से कोई PM बन गया, Devegowda PM बन गए, Kumaraswamy became a CM. So they vote, but I think this time in this election, I think the JDS has been firmly on the back foot. Mr. Devegowda is so very old. He's tried to campaign, but he could not campaign so much. It was mostly in the hands of Kumaraswamy. And also, important thing that Siddaramaiah is fighting from Varuna, the Old Mysore region. So Congress is trying to make a very, very strong inroad into the Old Mysore region. I won't be really surprised if the Congress is able to get a good number of seats this time in Old Mysore and hurt the JDS there. BJP doesn't want JDS to collapse. BJP wants JDS to win 20-25 seats at least, but not go beyond 30. So, BJP doesn't want JDS to collapse.
And in fact, Aman, I have some statistics which show that JDS's best performance was in 2004 when it contested 220 and won 58, and the vote share was 20.77%. The vote share has remained 20%, but it has not crossed the 40-seat mark.
Yeah, it has been declining over the years.
It has been declining.
And that has been a major concern for the JDS. But I think this time in this election, my prediction is that JDS is not maybe going to do so well, because the election is very clearly polarized.
So if there is a collapse of the JDS, then it will be advantage who?
Advantage Congress. If there's a collapse of JDS, it is advantage Congress, especially in Old Mysore, because BJP is anyways weak in Old Mysore. It is a Congress which is the stronger party there. And if the vote share, seats of the JDS are JDS doesn't win its traditional seats in Old Mysore, the Congress is in the best chance to win them, and I think it will be advantage Congress.
And it's interesting that in February 2006, the JDS formed the government with BJP support, and last time around it was JDS forming the government with the Congress support. So they have been forming these governments while remaining, as the king. But then the kingmakers here, that is the Congress and the BJP, this time they are saying that they are fighting alone. Forget about JDS. Let them not be a factor. But Mr. Kumaraswamy has still not stepped out of his home to cast his vote, although the BJP tall leaders, Mr. Bommai, B.S. Yediyurappa, have cast their votes. They've also spoken to media elaborately. On the other hand, you have Mr. Siddaramaiah, not yet. We haven't seen the visuals of Mr. Siddaramaiah, but we have seen D.K. Shivkumar step out, cast his vote and give the interview as well. Mr. Kumaraswamy, how much more time, Neetu, before we see the entire JDS clan, the first family, step out?
Now, we were told that he will be coming post 10 a.m. The local MLA of the area has gone towards his farmhouse. So from there, Kumaraswamy, Nikhil Kumaraswamy and Kumaraswamy's wife Anita Kumaraswamy, they will be coming together to cast their vote. So a little after 10, Kumaraswamy will be reaching and his family will be reaching at this polling booth behind me, Maria.
Okay, so we can expect them perhaps to come. Will the former Prime Minister H.D. Devagowda also come and cast his vote? Because it's a huge family. His entire family would be of roughly around 60 people, or perhaps more.
Yeah.
The entire family is pretty united.
Yeah, but here the vote is for H.D. Kumaraswamy, his wife, and for Nikhil Kumaraswamy.
Okay. And Neetu, just give us a sense of where you are. Just speak to the voters, because everybody wants to see whether they are young voters or elderly or women or men, who is really standing in the queue.
See, Maria, right from the time early morning when we came here, when the polling started, we are not really seeing a long queue of people coming. At this particular booth, there is only about 748 voters in this particular booth. That is what we are seeing. Mostly it is elderly people who are coming in to vote. There is no long queues that we are seeing outside here. At this particular point, there is not even one person casting the vote inside. They have been coming in very small numbers, mostly elderly people who have been coming to this booth to vote here. When we spoke to the people around, mostly in this area, it is farmers. They say that 50% of them depend on farming, be it milk or cultivation of ragi and even silk. These are the main activities that they do here, and 50% of the population is dependent on these.
And Neetu, since you say that this is, of course, Ramnagara, several journalists. Okay, Harish is speaking to Shobha Karanlage. Let's listen in.
चाहिए कर्नाटका में एक विकास वाली सरकार चाहिए. भारत के साथ साथ कर्नाटक का विकास होना, ऐसा सरकार को लोग जरूर वोट देंगे.
मैम, कांग्रेस ने सुबह एक एलपीजी सिलेंडर पूजा किया है. कुछ मैसेज भेज रहे हैं कि एलपीजी प्राइसेस भी लोगों के दिमाग में होना चाहिए जब वो वोट करेंगे. आप कैसे देखते हैं इस डेवलपमेंट को?
दिस इज टोटल वायलेशन एंड आई थिंक तो वो फ्रस्ट्रेटेड है, डर गए हैं. वो मतदान मैदान में नहीं है, अभी लड़ने का मैदान में नहीं है, मैदान छोड़ दिया है, इसीलिए ऐसा पूरा ड्रामा कर रहे हैं.
मैम, डीके शिवकुमार बोलते हैं कनकपुरा में कि हम काफ़ी जगहों पर हनुमान मंदिर बनाएंगे अगर सरकार में आएंगे. तो आपको लगता है ये सॉफ्ट हिंदुत्व है?
इसका हाथ में सरकार था, उसी समय विश्व का बहुत बड़ा यीशु का स्टैचू बनाने का वादा किया था, उसको शिलान्यास भी किया था. ये डीके शिवकुमार है. अभी वोट बैंक के लिए ऐसा बात कर रहे हैं. कांग्रेस तो पूरा का पूरा हिंदू का खिलाफ है, हिंदू का खिलाफ बात करते हैं, क्योंकि वो आंजनेय का खिलाफ भी बात किया. आंजनेय का जन्मस्थल कर्नाटक नहीं है, आंजनेय का बाप सूर्य भगवान है. ऐसा नेता कर रखे वो चुनाव कर रहे हैं.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ನಾನು ಬ್ರೀಫ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋಣ? ಹ್ಯಾಂಗ್ ಒನ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫಿನಿಶಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಒನ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. ರೋಲಿಂಗ್.
So that was Shobha Karanlage of the BJP union minister, who has been pretty active in these elections. As a woman face, you have seen her, file multiple election petitions in the election commission against the Congress party. She has been seen holding regular press conferences and has been pretty active. Neetu continues to be with us. Let me get a word from Neetu. Neetu, not too many people stepping out in Ramnagara to vote, but Ramnagara is a constituency which is very critical, and we often seen how we have often seen, in fact Ritu is joining us. Ritu, we have seen often that why Ritu, come in on this. Where is Mr. Siddaramaiah? Why he has not stepped out so far?
Now, what we are given to understand from his team is that he has left from the JP Palace from Mysuru and he is on the way. Now, what we are also being told that he will be visiting this temple here in the Siddharamana Hundi Siddharameshwara temple. So, these are the visuals that we are bringing to you. So, he is likely to visit this temple as well. So, before he casts his vote, he will offer his special any moment exactly. So, any moment that he will be here offering a special puja to the god here, and then he will be leaving to cast his vote. So, usually he has always visited this temple and offered a special puja before he had casted his vote. So, of course, now Varuna happens to be his home constituency, an important constituency as well, where now Siddaramaiah has said that it will be his last election. So, he wants people to come out in huge number and vote for him, and we are seeing the turnout as well in the Siddharamana Hundi, where people, though it's a village in fact, so people have all come out voting there and also encouraging others as well, the neighbors as well, to come out and cast their vote, as they say that it's their right to be casting their, to exercise their franchise. But however, this is really going to be an interesting close fight that we are witnessing between Siddaramaiah and Somanna from the BJP, where you see here the Lingayat are also dominant in the number, but moreover Siddaramaiah happens to be the mass leader, and that's the reason. See, while whenever we spoke to the voters, they only spoke about the Siddaramaiah. Very few said that they really want the change, because though Siddaramaiah was given a chance, a lot of time, he could have done a better, because he was the chief minister and his constituency should be the role model for the other leaders.
So what exactly is the preparation that has been done, Ritu, for Mr. Siddaramaiah to come and offer prayers there? Is he accompanied by his family? Is it the complete Siddaramaiah family which is coming there for the prayers before he steps out to get his finger inked?
Now, what we are also given to understand is that the Siddaramaiah, for now, he has left alone from the is not with the family members while he left from the hotel from the Mysuru. So, might be that on the way his family members might join him. But moreover, what we are also being told that most of his friends too would be taking part along with him while casting their vote. So, we'll have to see once we get to see him here at this temple, who all are going to come will be with the Siddaramaiah. But however, we do know that every time he's stepped out of his office or from the home, there has been a huge crowd around him, that it really becomes difficult for one to get accessible to Siddaramaiah as well. Okay. So that's the kind of popularity that he enjoys in his home constituency.
Ritu, stay with us. Stay with us. Let me bring in Rashid Kidwai and get some interesting anecdotes on Mr. Siddaramaiah. Rashid, welcome to the special broadcast. Will it be fair to say that what Mr. Yediyurappa is for the BJP, Mr. Siddaramaiah is for the Congress in Karnataka? Rashid.
Yeah, Maria. Because there was some disruption.
Yes, can you hear me? मेरा सवाल सुन पाए आप?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So my question is, Rashid, will it be fair to say that what Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa is to the BJP, Mr. Siddaramaiah is to the Congress in Karnataka? That same acceptability of a mass leader across the state.
Absolutely, Maria, you are spot on. Mr. Siddaramaiah's ratings are very high. I mean, there is no one who's anywhere close to him. So, if Congress gets a simple majority, Mr. Siddaramaiah is certain to be the chief minister of the state.
But what makes Mr. Siddaramaiah such a cult-like figure? And it is not just limited in Varuna. He's seen as completely impeccable, not a spot of corruption on him. He has huge following, seen as a mass leader. What works for Mr. Siddaramaiah?
I think he is a leader in a true sense. Maria, how many times you seen Mr. Siddaramaiah visiting Delhi, going to etc. So you see, by
Okay, we'll try and fix that audio with Rashid. You know, the point that has been made here, regional leaders not visiting Delhi was seen as almost an asset or a personality advantage of a regional leader. Those were the days when we would see that, you know, Balasaheb Thackeray never visited Delhi.
Yes.
He always ensured that if it was about engagement with the BJP leaders would travel to Matoshri. But look at the times that we have come in. Several BJP chief ministers and regional leaders put out advertisements in papers. So you have an Ashok Gehlot advertisement in the papers. So is the advertisement of Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma or Mr. Yogi Adityanath. So the messaging is shifting. I mean, I'm trying to understand what has changed so much that the regional players, the regional chief ministers want their advertisement to be or hoardings to be present in Delhi.
Well, I think it's more to do with, you know, also to capture the eye of, you know, Mr. Modi. I think to, you know, make him know that, you know, हम भी बहुत काम कर रहे हैं state में और हमने भी ये सब किया है. Also to show to the leadership, and obviously they also, everybody has ambitions and they want to show how good administrator they have been in various states. That is interesting. But I think the point you touched, Maria, about Siddaramaiah. Why he has this wide acceptability like Mr. Yediyurappa's also this Ahinda model that, you know, he had managed to strike even in the last election, and, you know, this a combination of OBCs, SCs and Muslims, and he himself comes from the Kuruba caste, which is the largest among the OBCs at almost 7%. So this combination which and in every election, Maria, Congress has had in fact more vote share than the BJP. You know, Congress, though they win lesser seats.
Right.
So Congress won 80 seats in the last election with clearly almost a 36-37% vote share.
Just hold on to your thoughts. In fact, the Chief Minister is speaking.
Forget all sections of the people.
Sir, Congress has accused you of corruption and misgovernance. They are calling you 40% Sarkara. Do you think that these narratives are going to play out in the minds of the voters?
See, this 40% Sarkara, they are telling for last 1 year. They have not come out with one case, not even a single case. People don't believe Congress because corruption means Congress, Congress means corruption.
Sir, your chance of getting re-elected as the Chief Minister of Karnataka
It will be decided by our legislature party and parliamentary board.
Sir, any last word to the voters here?
Please come out and vote for success of democracy and future of Karnataka.
Thank you so much.
Short, crisp answers coming in from Mr. Bommai, Basavaraj Bommai, the man of the moment, but also someone who has much to be worried about, because he's saying that I don't know whether I'll be the Chief Minister, it will be the MLAs who will be deciding, and that also depends on if the BJP manages to cross that halfway mark of 113, the magic figure in the Assembly of 224. Let's shift our focus to former Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, who's going to be where Ritu is in just a few minutes, and that Ahinda model that we were talking about, Aman.
Exactly. So I think the vote consolidation that Mr. Siddaramaiah brings, you know, Kuruba, Muslim, SC, you know, this combination. In fact, I remember interviewing Shobhaji from the BJP in Bangalore earlier during the campaign, and she in fact went on to say कि मुसलमानों के leader ही सिद्धारमैया हैं. She said Muslims feel that Siddaramaiah is the leader, and they're already emboldened in Karnataka कि हमारी government आ रही है, and we have to stop this kind of appeasement politics. So clearly the BJP knows that, you know, Muslims are solidly behind Congress and specifically behind Mr. Siddaramaiah. Kuruba is a 7% voter is behind the Congress, Siddaramaiah. So again, this becomes a very formidable, like 26-27% vote, Maria. And if you add, the Congress needs to, I feel in this election, the whole election is about, Congress is at about 36-37% vote. Can it get 3% more? If it reaches 40%, it is forming the government. If it remains stuck at 37% or drops a percent or so, I think the BJP will come back to power, because Congress in Karnataka is a widely spread party. So, you know, it has voters across the state, while the BJP has voters in certain strong pockets of the state. So it is a unique state where BJP with a 33% vote share in the last election would get 104 seats, with Congress with a 37% vote share would get 80 seats. So it's a unique state in that manner where vote shares don't really determine who's going to win the election. But I think the Congress is looking at going, as somebody in the Congress told me, breaking this 40% barrier. तो 40% सरकारा एक 40% वो फिगर है, दूसरा 40% फिगर है कि कांग्रेस 40% वोट शेयर ब्रीच कर पाता है कि नहीं, क्योंकि उसके बिना Congress may not be able to form a government. It might be touch and go. So Congress wants to rise from 30, wants to get that extra 3% vote, and which it feels. What I was told, they are banking on it from the Vokkaliga community in the Old Mysore region. They think the Vokkaligas and other voters in the Old Mysore region will desert the JDS this time and come to the Congress camp, and especially because Siddaramaiah himself is contesting from Varuna with the Old Mysore region. I think that is very important for the Congress in this election.
Okay, let me go to Rashid, and I'm hoping that his connection is better this time. Rashid, if you can hear me, and I'm hoping that your video is also without any glitches. Rashid. 40% Sarkara on one hand, and Congress hoping that they'll be able to breach the 40% mark, then only they can form the government. The argument. Okay. Tejasvi Surya, BJP MP, is speaking. Let's listen in.
Through ideas like the special state capital region for Bengaluru, all of these are very progressive ideas that the manifesto has promised. So all these three are very important factors to consider while voting, and I'm sure
Let me take you on that, because when I've been talking to people in the polling booths, they have been saying they want a stable government, they want a corruption-free government. Well, corruption is something that you have been targeted by, especially by the Congress. How are you going to manage that?
The Congress targeting somebody for corruption, there can't be a bigger joke than that. Therefore, the people of Bengaluru have come out to vote for a stable government that only the BJP can provide. They have come out to vote for a corrupt-free government by keeping the Congress out. That is why they have turned up in large numbers. And they are going to be voting for a government that will lead the state towards all-inclusive development and prosperity for the next 5 years, which again can be delivered by the BJP only.
How much is the Bajrang Dal issue going to help or not going to help the BJP?
We'll see on the 13th. People of Karnataka are extremely sensitive to the cultural pride of the state. The Congress, not just in this issue, but repeatedly has tried to insult the people of the state, belittle our cultural roots and traditions. People of Karnataka, people of Bengaluru will give a very resounding response to such audacious, such arrogance of the Congress. On the 13th of May, you will see this.
Prime Minister Modi's rallies, blitzkrieg that we saw in Karnataka, how much is going to swing the seats for the BJP?
Whichever state the Prime Minister has campaigned in, there has been a massive change that the Prime Minister has brought to the electoral table. And Karnataka, Rohini, you are a very senior journalist covering Karnataka politics yourself. You know that people of Karnataka love the Prime Minister like it's nobody's business.
How many seats do you think is going to swing?
It's going to be a full majority government. And I can also tell you that I'm getting reports from all polling stations across Bengaluru today that they are seeing a massive surge in the number of people turning up for voting in the morning at 7, 8. And I can tell you that one of the primary reasons for that is the roadshow that the Prime Minister organized in Bengaluru. So I'm sure that the Prime Minister's roadshows, the Prime Minister's campaign, along with the development work that the double-engine government has done, is going to catapult us to victory again.
And calling the Prime Minister a poisonous snake and making comments that we've seen, especially from leaders from the Congress, how much is that going to hurt the Congress?
People of Karnataka take insult to the Prime Minister very personally. You will see a very resounding response, like I said earlier, on the 13th of May. People of Karnataka are going to give a very, very resounding response to all these issues that you mentioned.
I have a question for you. South Bengaluru, how many seats are you confident is the BJP going to win? In Bengaluru, number one, and in South Bengaluru as well?
In Bengaluru,
because you represent as an
Bengaluru, Rohini, I think we will not be surprised if the party touches somewhere close to 19 or 20 seats. That's the kind of positivity that is there.
19 out of 28.
19 out of 28 is what we are sensing, or at least that's my reading. And in Bengaluru South, we are right now having 5 BJP MPs and 3 seats are held by the Congress. We hope to touch 6 to 7 seats.
Out of 224 seats, if I have to ask you, what is your number right now? What is the target? Target we know is 135 to 150. What is it that you are looking at this time?
It's a full majority government. Beyond
Give us
that,
a number.
Beyond that doesn't matter. Beyond 113, it honestly doesn't matter. We will be crossing 113 very comfortably.
Well, full majority and a stable government is what they're looking at.
That was Rohini speaking to Tejasvi Surya, and I'm going to go straight to ground zero again, and this time it is Harish who's joining us live. Harish, I hope you have cast your vote. Did you get time to cast your vote? Show me the inked finger.
Well, not really. In fact, I plan to vote around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Remember, that's when the voting is slightly, the pace is slower, not much of a crowd. That's the plan. I've never missed voting though, whether
that's
it's
good.
assembly elections or Lok Sabha elections. Yeah. In fact, Bengaluru, if you look at the polling percentage, it's been decent for the first 2 hours. Remember, the city is always accused of voter apathy, not coming out in huge numbers. That's been true. 58% roughly in 2013, came down to 52% in 2018. But one significant factor that we've noticed from morning is that there is a large first-time voter base that the Election Commission has ensured they've enrolled, and a good number of them have turned up at polling stations as well to ensure that they cast their vote. That's one change we are seeing. The political parties still don't know which way that particular demography will vote. Remember, many of them might not go by the traditional way of considering caste and other factors, so they are unsure on which way they will vote, and they're still hoping that it will be the youngsters would choose them, but that will become much clearer only on 13th. But if you look at how rural Karnataka has voted, the trend has been as usual. They've come up in good numbers. Some constituencies lesser. There's also a worry that there might be rain in some districts. So you already see a lot of leaders coming out and asking people to come out in the first half of the day itself and vote and not wait till evening, because usually a lot of people
that you can
wait till
beat
4 or
the
5 in the
rains.
evening.
You can beat the rains,
Absolutely.
hoping there. But Harish, talking specifically about how the trend has been of Bengaluru, you have been moving from one polling booth to another. Help us understand, are you seeing more youth, or are there more senior citizens who have decided that before they have their breakfast, they will cast their vote?
Well, I was at the Mount Carmel College in the morning, and there was a senior citizen couple which was waiting from 6 in the morning. Remember, the polling started only at 7, and they were waiting for a good 1 hour or so. And we've seen a lot of senior citizens coming in the first hour. It's only post 8 or 9 that we are seeing a lot of first-time voters coming in. This is the case with a large part of Bengaluru, especially old Bangalore areas. For example, my Mount Carmel College is near Vasant Nagar area, whether it's Vasant Nagar, Jayanagar, Baswangudi, or where I am right now, RMV Extension. All these are old Bengaluru areas, and a lot of senior citizens coming in the first 2 hours and voting. They're saying at least the temperature is bearable, not much of a crowd. Say they want to ensure that they vote. There's also a large walkers group in Lalbagh, which usually votes and then goes to walk, and some of them finishing their walk and then heading to the nearby polling station, finishing their voting and then heading back home. That's been a routine for many people over several elections that has continued this time as well.
And perhaps after jogging, going to cast their vote, and then enjoying a nice dosa, which Pallavi has been in Bangalore and in other parts of Karnataka. Pallavi, I've loved your coverage.
Well, Maria, I hope I've done more than just having a dosa over here in
I mean,
Karnataka.
that's
But
besides
I'm
being a
great
great description of how each and every dosa and chutney has been unique, Pallavi. Trust you me, I enjoyed it. And of course, your analysis is top
it
class.
has been unique, and in fact, I took my hand, tried my hand at making one of them also, and it's a little tough, but it's not too tough. So maybe I'm just going to come back and start doing that. But yeah, just on a serious note, it's one of the smaller polling booths in Kanakpura. That is a DK Shiv Kumar bastion, and he's contesting, of course, as we all know from here. Equal number of men and women I would see over here. This is also the Vokkaligas bastion. So after the Lingayat, one of the largest castes over here is the Vokkaligas caste, and the Congress hopes to have that kind of a magical combination, Vokkaligas, Lingayats, but that's pretty much the same combination which the BJP is also looking at. So it's going to be a tough fight if you look at the entire state picture. But over here, the Congress is very confident. In fact, Team DK Shiv Kumar insists, and they've been putting out tweets that, he's going to win here with a record margin. He's going to be the Sankat Mochan. I spoke to him a short while back, where he, kept on insisting that he's not in the CM race. But I think the real race race and the fight within the Congress party will really begin after results are out, Maria, and in case the Congress party wins. Because obviously DK Shiv Kumar would want his pound of flesh, because remember, he's been a troubleshooter for the Congress party whenever there have been fears of poaching or inner party rebellion, or rebellion from outside or whatever. So he would expect that he should be made the chief minister. I think that would be a very tough call for the Congress party.
But Lavi, as a political journalist who has tracked politics for decades, help us understand what did you see in Karnataka elections in 2018 and what is changing this time around?
Well, I mean, what I really found is the continuity plus the change factor. I mean, in many areas I was traveling to, especially the first-time voters, they had been the most vocal ones, the young ones, bubbly, enthusiastic. They are the ones who are looking at change. The change need not necessarily mean that they're going to vote for, say, the Congress party. What they're talking about is change in their life. So, I found them very aspirational. See, in Bengaluru, you're going to get those voices very easily. Clearly, people want to live a good life, the young ones, the IT sector, they want to make their money, they good money, and so on and so forth. But even in Hubli and Dharwad, and I found that really very interesting. One would think it's a smaller towns, definitely not the capital city, but definitely one of the largest districts, an education hub. A large number of IT sectors now increasingly coming up in Hubli and Dharwad, and a lot of young voters, first-time voters, they went on record to say that there are things like loyalty which matter. There are things like principles which matter. And it's interesting because this was being said in Hubli, where Jagdish Shettar is the Congress candidate, leaving the BJP, as you very well know. So I think this was a finger that they were pointing at. Is that going to become the benchmark when they cast their vote? Definitely they're going to try and hold their netas even more accountable. I think that's the cynicism which usually first-time voters don't have. The power of vote, that is what they believe in. And they did speak about, better infrastructural facilities, more educational institutions, so on and so forth. So I found a need for change, a call for change. But when I travel to, say, North Karnataka, I'm just getting one quick picture. This, I think, is really the far of democracy also. Come what may, we really need to go out and vote. And we over here, of course, would urge people, you have to go out and vote. This is the time when we can hold our netas accountable. But then just to come back, along with change is also the continuity factor. When I travel to, say, the coastal area, a bit of it, then North Karnataka, the BJP's hold over these areas are very, very clear and obvious. And I think the last few days, the whole controversy over Bajrang Dal ban, Hanuman Chalisa, has just gone on, consolidated that vote bank, because what the Congress was hoping for, a little bit of breaching this bastion, which is why they were talking about Hindutva a bit, and they were hoping that there would be a certain amount of voter fatigue, and there would be a certain swing of a percentage of a vote in their favor. I got a sense that that may not completely happen the way the Congress party wants it to happen, largely because of the Prime Minister's campaign, and also, of course, because of the consolidation over the Hanuman Chalisa issue.
And Pallavi, since you have been in Karnataka for a few weeks now, are you seeing a shift in election? Because Aman is here in the studio, and we almost have this consensus that there were certain turning points in this election. What started as an election in April is very different from the election that we are seeing in May.
Well, that's usually the case. I mean, in the electoral process, the last 24 to 48 hours, of course, matters. But, everything can change in a split of a second. I would look at the turning point was when the Congress manifesto was released. I think they just gave it literally on a platter to the BJP. I think the BJP was pounced, was waiting for an opportunity, and they got it. The Congress had been very, very careful. I mean, I've covered the Congress party for years and watched their election management, and it's been pretty poor. It's not been organized. But at least in Karnataka, they began early. They were kind of very careful and nuanced, focusing on local issues, but for that moment of a ban on Bajrang Dal. In fact, there's a divide within the Congress party. I'm sure knives will be out should the Congress party not win in Karnataka, that who's going to be held responsible for that. For a party which was being very, very careful, Maria, about not lead to a polarization or give a handle to the BJP, that was that one moment. The second, of course, is, that whole controversy over that tweet which came in from the official INC media handle of sovereignty. Now, these are the issues on which the BJP has always got an edge over the Congress party. And the Congress, it's not that the Congress is not aware of it, the Congress is aware of it. So it comes as a bit of a surprise that otherwise good election management of the Congress party completely missed out on these 2 points. And therefore, they were towards the fag end, left to defend themselves, even as the Prime Minister was spending more and more time in Karnataka.
so much bigger than the men's line.
Yes, and Aman is pointing out that the women queue is more than the men's queue. Is that also what you are seeing, Pallavi? Behind
and
you?
not surprising, I think we women can always be the swing factor. And the thing is that in many constituencies, according to Election Commission also, more than 50%, I'm going to try and speak to them, but you know, Mara, there is a language issue here. More than 50% of those areas or constituencies in Karnataka have actually more women voters than male voters, which is why if you look at the manifesto of both the BJP and the Congress party...
Pallavi, sorry to stop you. Mr. Siddaramaiah is speaking.
ಮನವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮತದಾರರು ತಮ್ಮ ಮತ ಚಲಾಯಿಸಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತೆ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಭವಿಷ್ಯ ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಚಲಾಯಿಸಬೇಕು. ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವ ಉಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ಉಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಮನವಿ.
ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣ ಸೀದಾಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಆಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣದ ಒಳೆ ಅದ್ಭುತ ಈ ಬಾರಿ
ಯಾವನು ಅರಿತದೆ, ಹಣ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಈಗ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಣ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ, ವೋಟರ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೋಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ. ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಏನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತಿನವ್ರಿಗೆ. 7 kg ಅಕ್ಕಿ 4 kg ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ನೀರಾವರಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. 4 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ಸಾಧನೆ ಶೂನ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ದುಡ್ಡಿನ ಮೂಲಕ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಗೆಲ್ಲಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯವರು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಒಟ್ಟು 19 ಬಾರಿ ರ್ಯಾಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದೇನು ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
ಏನು ಅವರು ಬೆಲೆ ಏರಿಕೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರ, ನಿರುದ್ಯೋಗದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರ, ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರ, 40% ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ 2 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತು ಪೆಟಿಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು. ಆ ಪೆಟಿಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ? ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಬಂದು ಹೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಯಾಕೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ?
ಪೂರ್ಣ ಬಹುಮತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ, ನಂಬರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್. ಪೂರ್ಣ ಬಹುಮತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ.
Why hasn't he acted on the allegations of commission in government contracts?
I have been consistently telling, after observing the people of the Karnataka, that Congress party would get 130 plus seats. It may go to 150 also. 130 ಸ್ಥಾನಗಳು ಕನಿಷ್ಠ 150 ಸ್ಥಾನಗಳು ಗೆಲ್ತಾರೆ.
ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಜನ ಇಟ್ಟ ಭರವಸೆ ಸರ್. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಜನ.
Pallavi Ghosh continues to be with us. Pallavi, Jai Viru ki jodi is Aman's observation of DK Shivkumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah.
And let me tell you, this area is actually not too far away, and Aman would know that because we went there from the Sholay Hills in Ramnagara. And well, I mean, I did try asking the DK Shivkumar this question repeatedly, whether you know he's going to be the CM face. See, it is important for the Congress party, which I think has been the most inflicted by infighting. I mean, we are seeing that in Rajasthan, what happened yesterday, in Chhattisgarh for that matter, Uttarakhand also much earlier. It was almost a given election for the Congress party, but for the infighting, which ruined it all. Madhya Pradesh also for that matter. So I think the Congress party realized from day one, at least present a united picture. So it's not a coincidence, you know, for example, both DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah going to a temple in Bengaluru, offering prayers together. You also had an interview chat which was released by the Congress's department of DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah, trying to present a united front. But you know, some of the best of the friendships are put to test when your ambitions come there. And that is something which I think think is going to be a huge challenge for the Congress party. I think the Congress's real fight, and I remember I asked DK Shivkumar this, the real fight will actually begin should they win elections, because both the sides think that their claim is strong enough.
And, before I let you go, I have so many questions for you because your analysis of elections is so unique. What do you think is working for the Congress here, similar to what worked in Himachal? If you were to make a comparison between the two states.
Well, we'll wait to see the results, but what the Congress thinks could work for them is, the most important is the stress on the local issues and the guarantees. Just to step back in time, in 2004, 2009, the food security bill, the so-called what was then criticized as the NGO announcements of the Congress party, it actually worked for the Congress party. And that's what the Congress is replicating. We're seeing that happening in Madhya Pradesh, which elections are coming up later this year. Over here, the 5 guarantees which they are talking about. The woman factor, I mean, you just see women coming here. So the Congress party is certainly going to be pitching on that. It's not again without a reason that the Himachal CM Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu was asked to come and campaign and hold a press conference, because with him he brought the face of what worked for the Congress party in Himachal Pradesh. Those guarantees, money into the bank accounts of women, over here free bus rides, over there also bus rides. These kind of things the Congress hopes can actually work for them in the battleground state of Karnataka.
Last question. The push and pull that was evident before the elections and, say a year back, did you see those differences between Mr. Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar having been sorted out when it came to the kind of open fight that is playing in Rajasthan? If we were to look between, say, a Sachin Pilot, Ashok Gehlot versus DK Shivkumar versus Mr. Siddaramaiah.
Well, but mind you, even during the Rajasthan elections, even during Chhattisgarh elections, there seem to be truce. Both Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot seem to be working together. T.S. Singh Deo and Bhupesh Baghel and others seem to be working together. So the truce you're seeing here may just be a kind of a photo opportunity. The real picture actually comes out once the results come out and if the Congress party wins. But I think it was very important. The effort at times showed, but I think it was very, very important and critical, I would say, for the Congress party to ensure that no one is allowed to see if there are any differences between the two of them. In fact, yesterday a fake news was being circulated where Siddaramaiah was having written a letter to Mrs. Gandhi. The Congress party went into a damage control mode, immediately declared it as a fake letter. It turned out to be a fake letter, which shows that the Congress party did understand that over here it was important to show that DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah and the others are working together. I mean, both of them come from very important caste combinations. Both of them are kind of relatively very charismatic and very high-profile leaders. Both of them are extremely aggressive, and therefore it was important that you have a united show. We'll only wait to see whether that really has worked for the Congress party or not.
All right, Pallavi, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. A quick word from you, Aman, before we end the special broadcast.
But as Pallavi knows that Congress की unity सबसे ज़्यादा opposition में जब Congress होती है तभी दिखती है. They are united when they are not in power. The moment they come in power,
power sharing becomes difficult.
Power sharing becomes difficult. We all seen those scenes where Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot were riding pillion motorcycle पे,
and also raising their hands together with Rahul Gandhi, right?
हाँ, तो वो सब देखा है हमने और भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में भी सिद्धारमैया और DK शिवकुमार को राहुल गांधी के साथ भागते हुए भी हमने देखा है. But when it comes to who will be CM, obviously there are ambitions. Both of them think, Mr. DK शिवकुमार में privately think कि सिद्धारमैया तो CM रहे नहीं, उसके बाद मैंने पार्टी को रिवाइव किया और पूरा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सिद्धारमैया थिंक्स मैं हूँ जो सबसे प्रोमिनेंट फेस है कांग्रेस का इन द स्टेट. सो आई थिंक इफ द कांग्रेस विंस, एज पल्लवी करेक्टली सेज, आई थिंक द हेडेक विल बिगिन विद द विन.
सो पिक्चर अभी बाकी है. जय वीरू में से कौन कुर्बानी देगा वो देखना बाकी है. यार हम लोग फिर से शोले देखेंगे एक नए तरह का. थैंक यू सो मच अमन, पल्लवी, एंड थैंक्स टू ऑल द रिपोर्टर्स हु जॉइंड अस. ऑफ कोर्स polling is continuing in Karnataka. It's a one-phase election. The results will be on 13th. But poll of polls is where you have to come to CNN News 18 to watch that special coverage.
Hello and welcome to the third and the final Karnataka edition of One Team. But this time round, little futuristic look on whether a win in Karnataka is crucial to the existence of the Congress party. In an ideal situation, almost in the ideal situation or the atmosphere I'm standing right over here in, well, state elections should not have an impact so much on the national elections. There have been instances in the past where, for example, the Congress party has lost all the state elections but formed its government at the centre, and the same has been the case with BJP. But when you have a state election like that of Karnataka inching very close to a Lok Sabha elections of 2024, and for the Congress particularly, it's a situation where the party seems to be dwindling, where there has been exits from the party, and the party is in a state of flux. Winning a big state like Karnataka becomes crucial to the existence and the continuance, I would say, of the Congress party. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to try and explain why the Karnataka elections is a do and die situation for the Congress party. I'm sitting at the iconic and one of the most beautiful parks in Bengaluru, which is the Cubbon Park. But it's not going to be a garden path for the Congress party should it lose elections in Karnataka. As I said, in the next few minutes, I'm going to be discussing and also ask you for your reactions on the social media timeline that how important are the Karnataka elections for the Congress party. Several factors, many pictures, all of them emerge. First of all, let's talk about Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra because that seems to be the central theme of the Karnataka elections. You must have noticed many of the videos which have been released which actually talks about Rahul Gandhi and his Bharat Jodo Yatra, and there's a particularly video which has been released by him where he talks about the fact that in his interaction with several people while he travelled to one of the longest legs of the Yatra through Karnataka, people told him their problems. GST, price rise, unemployment, so on and so forth. So therefore the Congress manifesto and the Congress's 5 guarantees incorporates what Rahul Gandhi says he picked up from the people. Now the Bharat Jodo Yatra all along the Congress party has been maintaining is got nothing to do with politics. It's not a political yatra in the sense it is not going to be seen and should not be seen as a political campaign. But once the Congress and its leaders makes the yatra as a benchmark of what their campaign is in Karnataka and what the battle for the state is all about, it's very clear that Bharat Jodo Yatra does emerge as a political campaign. So to that extent, I would say the test case or the litmus test for the Bharat Jodo Yatra will be in case the Congress party wins or loses the election. That's going to be the test. As I said, one of the most successful legs of the Yatra really has been the Karnataka Yatra. It was also over here where Rahul Gandhi tried to ensure a show of unity was put up between DK Shivkumar on one side and Siddaramaiah. You must have seen pictures of Siddaramaiah running and keeping pace with Rahul Gandhi, and similarly as far as DK Shivkumar is concerned. At the crux of the Congress's campaign in the state has been videos which have been released periodically by the Congress party, including one of an interview chat between DK and Siddaramaiah to send out a simple message that we are one.
100%. Without anyone's support, we will touch 150 seats. The people of Karnataka have decided to vote Congress party and bring back the Congress party with a comfortable majority.
My first aim is to bring the party in power.
There's no division, we are all fighting together, but also a reach out to the critical vote banks which both the leaders represent. The Vokkaligas as far as DK Shivkumar is concerned, and the Kuruba, that is OBCs backwards, that's the kind of vote bank which Siddaramaiah, who of course is one of the veteran and one of the strongest leaders on the ground, who he represents. So in that sense, I would say the Bharat Jodo Yatra's success will also be determined on the basis of the poll results which come out on the 13th. And thereby is a link to Rahul Gandhi's success story as a politician. See, lots of things have happened during the campaign or the battleground state of Karnataka. Rahul Gandhi was disqualified as a member of parliament. He's fighting a defamation case. He's trying for a kind of a reprieve or exemption from his conviction at the High Court and then, of course, in the Supreme Court, as the case may be. So Rahul Gandhi's existence and success as a politician, his mettle, will actually be proved on the basis of the Karnataka results, notwithstanding a number of campaigns he's done or not done. To be fair, the largest number of campaigns among the Gandhi family has actually been done by Priyanka Gandhi Vadha, and also she's actually got the most amount of traction on the ground. Rahul, in comparison, has done fewer